camera right, it'd be good, Mike. That'd be a good start, wouldn't it? Let's just get the camera right, shall we? There we are. That's a bit better. Welcome. Hope you're all good. Live chat 132 coming to you from London town here in the UK. Hope your bass playing's going great. It's Tuesday, isn't it? It's 8 o'clock UK time, so it's live chat time. By my watch, that's the way it goes. So I hope you're well. I hope your bass playing's going fabulous. I look like I'm doing a million things here. I've literally walked through the front door about 20 minutes ago. It's been chaos here today. Absolute chaos. I'll tell you about it in a minute. I just need to plug these headphones in. I've been videoing most of the day, and my room. You don't want to see my room. It's my office, of course. It's devastation would be a fair description. Bass gear, gig bags, cables, plug boards, wires, lights, all over the place. What you're seeing on camera at the moment is the best view of this room. So I'll try not to show you, but I'll tell you very shortly how today has gone. Let me just plug this in. Otherwise, I'm not going to hear anyone that comes on the live chat. And I've just realized I haven't sent out my invites. Sorry, guys. I'll do it now. It's been crazy, a crazy day. Right, let's just get everyone on board here. See, I thought I was going to get all this done like super efficiently as soon as I walk through the door. And as hard as I try, it hasn't happened. So just bear with me. You know it's normally glossy and silky smooth here. Just bear with me a second. A second. That's all I need. We'll just send these invites out to the fine regulars here on Brooks's Bass Corner live chats. Right, that's going out there. That's good. Just got to send about 3 of these out to the fabulous people. Send one to Mr. Lee Sklar, of course. Why wouldn't I invite the man? You know, he may turn up. He may do. He may not. Usually he's out gigging, playing with the glitterati of the musical world. But he always says, if I'm there, if I can, I will. So it's all good. We need to send another 2 out. Sorry, guys, I should have done this. It has just been manic. Even on Brooks's Bass Corner level, it's been manic today. And I will tell you very shortly why. There's one for Zuma. Anyone wants to join in, feel free. There's an email ticker running along top of the screen. Email me at brooks'sbasscorner@gmail.com, and I'll send you an invite, and then you can come on through. I don't think I've sent one there, so that's one for young Richard. Sorry, Rich, I know you'll be waiting there. Just bear with me. That's done. And then one for Mr. Pinkbeard himself. Where are you? Where are you? Going through my list here. Or did I just send him one? I might have done. We'll go again, shall we? There we are. Right, let me plug in these headphones. And then we're kind of rocking and rolling. There we go. That's better. The headphones were over there while I was doing video demos earlier. Right, now we're rocking, aren't we? Happy days. I assume everyone's getting this in stereo. Again, I've been using the audio interface for all sorts. And I know we sometimes get people saying, oh, it's in mono, it's not in stereo. Should be fine. I'm hoping it's fine. If there's any problems, let me know. So let me just expand that. Then we need to do that size of the size. There's no preparation today, Mike. Where's the polish gone? That needs to go there, and we'll slim that down, and then we're kind of there, aren't we, really? All right, we'll get rid of that, and then I can see the emails as they appear in the inbox. We may be joined by a member of the bass playing YouTube glitterati tonight. We might not, but we might. He has an open invitation. I spent an hour and a bit in his company this afternoon. He may appear. I know he's going to be on a train, but he will have Wi-Fi. And if he's watching, all you got to do, email me at brooksysbasecorner@gmail.com. There's a ticker running along the top of the screen with the email address. That's very small. How are people meant to see that? Let me see if I can change the font size there. That's way too small. See if I can get something a little bit easier to read. How about that? Premium fonts. Oh, yeah. We just want normal fonts to be good. Can I have a normal one? No, apparently not. Right, okay, well, we'll stick with it then. But if he is watching, you know who you are. Email me, brooksysbasecorner@gmail.com. You don't have to come on screen by video if you don't want. But the option is there. The offer is there. It would be lovely to have you on board, but if you can't, it's fine. No problem. Quickly rattle through these messages. Hello, Lauren. Lauren has a bass for sale, so feel free to advertise your wares, young man. If you don't want to put your email address on here, you can send it to me, and if people want to buy your bass or whatever, they can come via Brooks's Bass Corner and I'll forward your details onto them. I know some people are wary of putting their email address on social media and stuff because bots go out there and will spam you to high heaven, but if you want to, feel free. Westford, good to see you. There's a young man. He bought a load of Brooks's Bass Corner merch. Bless his heart. Let me know when it arrives. You should get it. You might get it tomorrow. It's usually really quick. So usually 3 to 4 days, and you ordered it, I think, on Sunday, didn't you? So should be good. Gareth Harrison, good to see you. Evening, my man. How are you? Yeah, organised chaos. I'll explain. Let me get the end of these messages. I'll tell you all about it. Andy Stratford, good to see you. I hope your radio show's going well. See you at 9:30. Super. Electric Low End, evening. Good to see you. Just another manic bass chat. It's not always. No, sometimes it's like silk, like a silk hand into a silk glove, and it just goes straight. No, not today. No, I knew when I left home at 3 o'clock. Well, actually, it was 3:15. I thought, you're cutting it fine. Got to get into town and get back out. Going to hit rush hour traffic, tube chaos. But actually, it was okay. It was just trying to get back in a rush. But we're here now. It's all good. Answer the editor. Hi, I don't think you've been here before, but you're welcome. Eat potato. It's going to be one of those, isn't it? It's where do I go with that? It's a bass channel. We're talking bass. Yeah, you said it again. Mate, we're talking bass guitars. If you want to get involved in the conversation, we're a friendly bunch. If you're going to come on here and, I mean, what's that? Bro, eat potato. What does that mean? What's that relevance has that got? If you're going to be pleasant, fine. If you're going to be a pain in the ass, I'll bomb you out. You got one more comment to make, and then I can ditch you. West Fort, bass Triforce tonight. Let's go. Absolutely. I'm just keeping an eye, see if people are trying to come in onto the live chat. Gareth, yeah, got him, Gaz. Yeah, well done, sir. Well spotted. That's those stars. Electric Low. Remember, it isn't a live chat. If there isn't any problems. No, I don't like problems. No, I like it all running sort of smooth and to form. Bill Derbyshire, good to see you, my man. There's someone writing in Cyrillic. I don't know what you're saying. If we're English speaking, so if you want to get involved in the conversation, you are gone. Thank you, Veronica B. You're gone. Yeah, if you want to write in Cyrillic, that's no use to me. You might as well send me a message of gobbledygook. It's but if you can put it in a Google Translate and get the English version, then post that works for me. So anyway, Brooks's Bass Corner, live chat 132. We're talking bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, bass accessories, great bass players, albums with great bass playing on. If you've got any problems with your gear, maybe your bass is playing up, the amp's playing up, effects playing up, ask me. ask the gang if we can help you. That's what we're here for. All about sharing the bass knowledge, getting it out there. If you've got some gear and it's not working for you, let us know. Okay, we'll try and help. If I don't know the answer, I open it up to the floor. The regulars that we have here on Bass Chat, we're all bass players, all out gigging generally. So if you want some help, ask. How do you ask? Well, it's very simple. So this is the video window that you're watching. If you're on the live app, what am I talking about? If you're on the mobile app, the live chat window is directly below. If you're on the desktop version, it's that way. Yeah, you'll see all the messages appearing. At the bottom there, you'll see a rectangle which says chat or comment, depending what you're watching this on. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I'm broadcasting on StreamYard. So put your cursor in the chat box, comment box, press send. It'll appear here in my live chat, and then I can respond to it. Next to that, there's an emoji icon. Feel free to give that an absolute pummeling because the YouTube algorithm loves it. So add all your emojis. It's all good. Next to that, you're going to see a rectangle with a dollar symbol in. That's called Super Chat. If you see anything in the live chat, any videos here on the channel, if you want to help keep the channel going, I aim to do this for another 20-25 years. So if you want to help, everything you see on the channel, everything you see in the videos, everything I use to make the videos, I pay for. I don't get any of it for free. So if you want to make a financial donation to the channel, you can do so on the live chat using that super chat facility. So it's a dollar symbol in a rectangle. There's also another facility called Super Thanks, which exists on every single video here on the channel. We're a monetized channel. That's called Super Thanks. Works exactly the same way as Super Chat. It's just two separate things. So if you watch one of the videos here on the channel, you find something useful, educational, maybe I solve a problem that you've got with your bass or your amp or your effects or something in the workshop videos, you can donate to the channel using Super Thanks, and that's a dollar symbol in a love heart. Directly below this video window, you're going to see a row of icons. There's a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Please give the video a thumbs up. It's the most important thing you can do for a YouTuber, a content creator, videos here on YouTube. Thumbs up means everything. It's the most important thing you can do as a viewer. It costs you nothing. It's literally a mouse click, or if you're watching on the mobile, I know some people say, I can't see where the icons are for thumbs up and thumbs down. So if you're watching on the mobile app, where all the comments are below the video window, you'll see there's a scroll handle, like a faint line. If you drag that down the screen, the messages will go to the bottom, and you'll then see the icon says thumbs up, thumbs down, the share arrow, save option, and then you'll see the super thanks, which is the dollar symbol in the love heart. So that's where you do your thumbs up and thumbs down. So again, if you can give it a thumbs up, that'd be fabulous. If you're going to give it a thumbs down, please leave a comment in the comments section. Tell me what you don't like or what isn't working. I can't make the videos better if I don't know what the problem are. Then into the description box, you're going to find timestamps, which will allow you from midday tomorrow to jump through the video based on all the things we talk about tonight. Usually our live chat lasts about 3 hours. So the timestamps on the timeline will allow you to jump through. They will also correspond with the timings that are in, which is why they're called timestamps, of course, in the description box. So if you don't want to talk about Fender basses, but you want to jump through to the thing where we're talking about status basses, click on the part that says status and it'll take you straight through. After that, you're going to find Brooks's Bass Corner merch link. So feel free to check out the merch. Westfort bought some merch on Sunday. Bless him. Fabulous stuff, sir. Well done. Look forward to seeing you wearing it. We had someone in America bought some t-shirts in the past couple of days. Sold a few caps, sold a few mugs as well. So thank you, gang, for buying the merch. Very much appreciated. So then after the Brooks's Bass Corner affiliate links, you'll find affiliate links for the Bass Centre here in the UK and affiliate links for Top Cashback, StreamYard and vidIQ. Then if you've got any bass related purchases coming up, maybe a new bass, amp, effects, cases, gig bags, strings, cleaning stuff, anything to do with bass, there's affiliate links there for Amazon, Thomann and ANDERTONS. So if you've got anything bass related that you need to buy, you can help the channel by using those links. When you go through with your purchase and pay for your purchase, the channel then receives a small affiliate commission. That's how we keep the channel going. All those affiliate commissions, they're small, but they add up to a bigger amount. So again, if you're thinking of buying something, a bass, a pedal, strings, gig bags, cleaning materials, polishes, all that sort of thing. Maybe one of these. Hang on, he says, as he picks something up and a load of paper falls on the floor. That's not the plan, is it? Maybe you're looking for one of these. Maintenance kit, Dunlop. All your cleaners and polishes in one box. You can find that using the affiliate links in the description box. So after those, then you will find social media links. You'll find some Facebook, Instagram, Be Real, Reddit, Quora, Discord, and TikTok. And we are up to date. Right, there are messages. Let's get through this. Lauren, that's right. Thanks. I might be selling my Enfield bass. He's got an Enfield for sale. A Lionheart Air model. I reviewed those back in about 2019, I think. Maybe 2018, 2019. Super light, white Sidon dot LED, super quad pickup, super Lowen fingerboard? Superb Lowen fingerboard. Lowen? Do you mean Laurel? Anyway, what price are you looking for, Lauren? Let us know. I don't think you'll get any bites unless someone's particularly looking for that bass if you don't mention a price. But give us a price and people will know whether they're interested or not. Westfort, yes, I'm going to send pictures when it arrives. Good man. Electric Low End, I started to practice some slap bass and it felt weird. Welcome to my experience of nearly 40 years ago. Practiced without an amp. That's good. Nothing but clunk, clunk, clunk. I do it all the time because my technique sucked. Did some research and it was just a technique issue. There you go. There you go. If you want to talk about slapping and technique and what have you, we can do that. We can do that tonight. So let me know if you want to do some more of that. That's all fine. Hang on, I'm starring those. Or maybe a skill issue. It's practice is what it is. Anyone can play slap bass. People look at it as though it's some extremely difficult technique. It's not. It's just practice. Everything I do, bass playing wise, have done, is practice. When you do anything in life, you know, it's very easy to dismiss things, but until you get your feet wet and start doing it, you won't be able to do it. Then once you get the basic building blocks, then you not perfect it, but you develop it as a technique. And slap is no different than fingerstyle, pick playing, tapping, mute, palm muting, all of that. It's just tools to have in your playing toolbox, and you develop them. And then if you're on a gig or you're doing something in a band or a recording or what have you, and someone says, can you do, yeah, like this, yeah, and away you go. Electric, I always buy from Thomann. Very good. It's your favorite company for music gear. Well, feel free to use the Brooks's Bass Corner affiliate links. We have our own shop front there, so please feel free. Vissel, good to see you. Thank you for the comments on the shorts over the past couple of days. Much appreciated. Westfort, yes, slap at first feels weird, but with practice, it's going to feel great. Exactly. Mr. Prawn. Okay. Hello. Welcome. We're talking bass guitars, my friend. If you're here for bass fishing, wrong channel. We're talking bass guitars. Boom, 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 all of that. Not cast out the line and reel the fish in. Anyway, there's young Richard. Let's bring him to the stage. How are you, young man?
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Hello
all right?
there. Yeah, I'm dazzling. You've managed to get back from the M69 then.
Oh, that was absolute hell on earth. That was. It really
Good, was it? Sounds like my journey yesterday.
I'd actually closed the M1 from junction 21 down. So everything was going on the M69. It was just a car park. So, yes.
Lovely.
Good evening, Gareth.
Love it. Don't you love it?
Every day it gets better.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I am just trying to pull a video in that I can play to you fine people very shortly. Now, what's all this about? Well, until I find this video, I don't know. There we go. I need detail. I need to see file size. File size, come on. Yeah. 19th. So today's the 23rd. So, crikey, how is that such a... Oh, I see. Right. Clown. Right. That one. Yeah. That one. Yeah. Good. Right. We'll have both of those. Sorry, just
That's okay.
trying transferring files from a phone onto my PC and then getting them into StreamYard should be relatively simple. It
Should
never
be, but
works
it
that
isn't,
way.
is it? No.
Yeah, StreamYard decides to throw a wobbly, so you got to make sure the file size isn't over a certain limit. So we'll just wait for those to upload. Gareth's there, very good. Driving is a necessary evil, don't I know it?
Just
Mr.
about.
Prawn, are you guys going to sing to us in a duet? No, that's not happening.
No,
That's not happening. I mean, you can join us here on the live chat by video if you're going to give us a recital. That's easy. You just send me an email via the email address running along the ticker at the top of the screen, brooks'sbasscorner@gmail.com. I send you an invite. We'll bring you to screen. You can do a little sing-song, hey?
Lovely.
How's
Bring
that
it on.
float your boat? Yeah, that's it. So, Mr. GB.
Mr. GB,
What
I've
prompted
joined
that?
your actual club. What brought it on? I was flicking through the stock and I thought, oh, that's interesting.
They've had that for a while. It's been sat
they?
there.
Yeah.
It's been there probably for
wonder
about
why.
8 weeks or so.
That's odd.
Market goes up and down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the cheapest I've seen a Spitfire go for was about 650 quid. And that's
Bargain.
probably about,
Yeah.
it was, I don't think it sold. It was about
Yeah.
10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
People don't know the brand. The GB thing went through a real, it was really highlighted in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And
True. Yeah.
kind of the bass forums kept it seriously up there, and the Bernie was always putting basses into magazines for review. And while he was the distributor for EBS, there was another platform to highlight them from. But it just kind of has fallen off the radar, and Bernie's getting older.
Yeah.
Had a few health issues. People who know he's out there and know he's still making basses, but we don't have a magazine anymore, do we? So people don't see the adverts. If channels like this don't publicize, then unless you know the GB thing, you're not going to really know he's out there. And it's always been a word of mouth thing, I think.
Yeah.
But again, the basses are expensive, and I think people will always go for something else that they might know is going to keep its value.
Possibly,
rather than a brand that people don't know, and am I going to get my money back? Well, you can say that about anything, but
you can.
Yeah, I don't know. But I hope it serves you well.
It's punchy.
That's what they do.
Extremely
That's what
punchy.
they do.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, you've got the electronics in there that predate the electronics that are in mine.
Yeah.
And mine have got 18 dB of cut and boost. I would imagine yours has probably got 12.
Yeah.
I think that was the way it worked.
It's ample anyway. So
because at that time, the rumor circuit. So back when that was made, that's a 97, 98. The rumor was more of the flagship because it was a through neck. The Spitfire was no less a great bass, but it wasn't the rumor. And then when they got into round about late 2002, 2003, then he standardized the circuit, so both basses had the same circuit. Now, when you went there to buy a bass as a custom build, you could spec exactly what your electronics did. So so once the boards were made, Dick Straker, who was his electronics guy, would then build the board as you wanted it. So if you wanted more bottom end, more top, more mids, you knew the frequencies you wanted your EQ shelved out, you could have that. But a lot of people would just go, I just want the GB circuit.
Yeah.
So that came around late 2002. By about mid 2003, that was the standard, which is why from that point on, you always saw Spitfires with the same control alignment, not the 4 in a row that you've got on that. But that was that, really. Yeah, but
Yeah,
if ever you need anything for it, call him up and take it
yeah,
down to him.
brilliant. Yeah,
And usually, if it's something not too over the top that needs doing, he can do it there and then.
yeah,
If it's an electronics thing, then it has to stay, and it'll have to go to Dick because Dick doesn't work in the same building. He lived well. In fact, I don't even know if Bernie's still using him because last I heard, he was sourcing circuits from John East.
right.
So, yeah.
Mm,
There we go.
interesting.
There's a few messages there. Vissog, oh, I'm
Yes,
lucky enough to have a Spitfire 5er through neck too.
very nice.
There aren't a lot of Spitfires with through necks. I
No,
remember when he
rare
started
actually.
offering
Yeah,
it. Yeah. But there was always someone that wanted it. And I think there was a couple of rumors that had bolt-ons, just people's preference. Because for ages, he wouldn't do that. You want a through neck? It's a rumor. You want a bolt-on? It's a Spitfire.
yeah.
And then what happened was, as he got more popular and he was making more bases, inevitably you would get someone say, "Can I have a through neck Spitfire? And can I have a bolt-on rumor?" And that's where it's like, and then
Yeah,
he's like,
okay.
"Oh, I don't want to do that." But people are waving £3,000 at you. You'll do it, you know,
Do anything.
because it also meant he had to change his templates.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's half the reason he didn't want to do it. He's like, "Oh, I've got to do all that again." But you know, you build one-off handmade custom bases. That's the lie of the
very
land.
true.
It's
Yeah.
not a CNC machine.
Mm.
Bernie used to do the shows. Yes, he did, and annoyed most of the manufacturers because his EBS gear was louder than everything else that was there, and he'd slap it for hours, and it would do people's heads in. I remember we got a lot of complaints. I never told him that actually. Yeah, we used to get a lot of complaints. That bloody GB guitars, they're so bloody loud. Yeah, they are. That's why I've got 4. Where's Fort? Did you buy the GB from Bet? Yes, he did.
Correct.
He
Yes, I
traded
did.
it in. He traded it in. Yeah.
Yes, I traded across ways. So yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Gareth, Fender and Gibson, for instance. Hey.
Need some context. Context is king.
Phil said, put meat on the bones, Gaz. Lauren, your bass is a late 2022. Lowen is a wood, indeed, sometimes called Moranti. Crikey.
Oh, right.
I've
Okay.
heard these. Superb looking, great sounding. Original Hiscox white case. Yeah, I got one of those for my white Rumor. Around €3,000 shipping included. Okay. Where, remind me, Lauren, are you in France? Or are you in Belgium, Holland?
He's in France, I think, as I remember.
Yeah, I think so too. But if anyone's interested, I mean, you can email me pictures if you want, Lauren, and I'll post them up. That's all. And I do have some pictures actually from Albriano. Actually, well, let's do this while I remember. He sent me some pictures. I think you're going to quite like these.
Sounds good.
Gareth, people buying more well-known brands for resale value. Yes, absolutely.
They are, to the point. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. In actual fact, the oddity is here on the preamp, which I'll sort of cover myself with a bit. The separate control is the actual treble, and the stacked one is actually mids and bass. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just odd.
I think that might have been tapping into the fact that he wanted super glassiness, so he wanted to make the treble easy to get to. The switch is a series parallel switch.
Yeah, so there you go. Anyway,
that in there, right? Let's see if these come up. So this is Albriano's Stingray 5.
All right, okay.
I think you're gonna like this. Well, you might not because you traded one in today. But
I did. Yeah.
I'll let's just see if I can put this up.
It's gone.
Here. Now I think it's the scratch plate you're gonna like.
Okay.
Share
screen.
Okay.
Share screen.
Yeah, I will. Hold on. Where's it gone? Here we go.
That's nice. Yeah.
Black with the gold hardware, gold
like sort
holes
of
and the
cherries almost, isn't it?
That's it. Wow, what did he say? What did you say, Al? Because I think he'll be a long late. This is his baby. She sounds and plays amazingly. She played on last night's gig. I love the black and gold. The pick guard was black, so I wanted to give her a custom feel and give her some, I won't say the next word, crimson pearl pick guard. Perfect contrast with the black and gold.
Very nice, yeah.
There we go. There is more.
Is
file.
That the one, the scheme they call jackpot?
Might be.
Yeah.
Might be. I haven't looked on there for a while.
Yeah.
There you go. So I quite like that.
Yeah.
That works for me.
Brilliant.
That works for me. Right, we've got messages.
Very
Good
nice.
Lord. Right, got Gareth there. Lauren, you are in south of France. Very good. Westport. Looking at that GB. Too late. Well, if Rich decides to get rid of it, you know where it is. Lauren, what's my email? Email is on the ticker running along top of the screen, Lauren. brooksysbasscorner@gmail.com. Pablo, you're a noob. Welcome. We're talking bass guitars. Mr. Prawn, I'm confused. Never played with a Spitfire, but I have sat in a Messerschmitt. We're talking bass guitars. Clearly here for the comedy content. Well done. If you hang on long enough,
Brilliant.
Jamie will be here. He's right up your street. Pablo, you're a noob. Okay. Yeah, you keep saying it and you're doing a red face. Okay. Don't know what you're waiting for. Please feel free to contribute to the conversation. We're talking bass guitars, sir. Visog, yes, that is a lovely Stingray. The scratch plate sets it off a treat. Anyone gets a black Stingray with chrome hardware, a plate like that isn't going to do you any harm. Yeah. Gareth, exactly. The scratch plate pops. Electric Lion, you'd love a Stingray. Sadly, too poor to buy one.
Oh,
Look at some subs. Richard sold one. Sold one,
I did.
sent one.
Yeah.
Look at some subs. They're great. Great for the money.
This week.
Not that bad. Get you in the ballpark. You literally forego a few fettling things like rounded fingerboard corners, edges.
Yeah.
Perhaps the circuitry is not quite the same, but it will get you in the ballpark. So maybe have a look at those. There we go. So those are Al's Stingray pictures. Yes.
Evening beat after
Very
beat.
good.
Nice to see you.
Here he is. Here he is. Have you got that boy's t-shirt collection yet? So I'm just stoking the fire.
Just a little bit, yeah.
That's it. Let's just check we got any messages. No. So I was saying who we might be joining us. Well, see if any of you recognize this young chap. He's very shy, retiring. I personally don't think you'll have ever seen this bloke, but anyway, I'll let this go. Never sounded funkier.
The reason why I'm doing this is I don't like clapping. I could have start clapping now.
So light.
Yes. I met that young man this afternoon.
Of course, yes.
It wasn't planned. He posted this morning. No, actually, something went up on one of his socials yesterday that he was down south, and then he posted up something that was on Instagram this morning, which he was at Rotor Sound, and I said, "Oh, you're down south? I didn't know. You should have let me know. We could have gone out for lunch or something." And he went, we're filming some stuff for the channel at Andertons, and they asked me down, and Rotor Sound wanted me down for some this, that, and the other. I said, "Oh, okay, no worries." I said, "Well, look, I'm going to be at the gallery this afternoon. I've got 2 Viv Wilcock basses to drop back. If you're around, if you're in town, I'll be down there mid-afternoon." He went, "Oh, well, I'm here at Andertons for hours." I said, "Okay, no worries." And part of my day today has been filming the Viv Wilcox stuff and doing all the photography and the video filming and what have you. I got out of the house late. I was meant to be out by 2:00. Didn't get out of here till 3:15. And I get on the tube and a message pops up from him. He goes, "I'm going to be back at King's Cross by about 10 to 5. I said, you can either get a cab or you can get the tube to Camden, or you can just walk from King's Cross. I said, it'll take you about 10 minutes, 15 minutes at a push. to the gallery. I said, I'll be there. I said, but I'm not getting there till about 20 to 5. So I'm sure our paths will cross. Lo and behold, I'm down in the dungeon with Martin and Charlie that used to work there. And in he comes. And so we spent about an hour nattering, talking bass, trying out basses, talking YouTube and everything else. He was fabulous. So what you see on screen is exactly what he's like. There's no airs and graces, or none that I saw anyway. Very chatty, very pleasant, lovely to be around. Super. Well done, young man. He might appear here later tonight. I know he's on the train going back up north. He'll have Wi-Fi, but whether he wants to talk to me, he said talk to me for an hour. He might not want to do it again. But anyway, I said to him, you've always got an open invitation. So you want to come on the live chat? You're more than welcome. So we will see. Now, I do know there's another video there.
Another one?
The long one or the short? I got a few off him, actually.
The interface is very wide as well.
Yeah, it is.
You know, for such a strange instrument.
There we go. So in a minute, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to knock out Supper's Ready by Genesis, all 23 minutes worth.
Jazz Odyssey.
Followed by Tales of Topographic Oceans, all 4 sides, of course. So that's an old 66 Fender 5-string.
Yeah.
Elongated body, huge headstock. Yeah, I think it was about $6,000.
How much?
Sounded really nice. About 6. But yeah, and we had a blast. We had a right old time. He'd never been to the gallery. He actually passed it on Sunday and it was closed. He said, "Oh, I've got to go to the gallery." Went there and it was closed. It's like, yeah, they get a day off, you know. And so he said, "Oh, I've never been in a shop like this." I said, "Well, come on in." I said, "It's been here 33 years. You know, fill your boots." So I introduced him to Martin, Jamie. John wasn't there. Yeah. And the funniest thing, and the first time I've ever met the guy, we've just conversed via Messenger over sort of the past few months and stuff. The funny thing, this is the best bit. So we just sat there playing. Some kid comes in with a bass, needed something fixing, and literally stood at the top of the stairs and couldn't believe his eyes. It was like your face when Lee Sklar came on.
Yeah.
It was like...
What?
Because everyone knows him. The people in the shop didn't have a clue who he was. Martin didn't have a clue who he was. I had to introduce them, and Martin is oblivious to YouTube. He knows Scott Devine, but he doesn't know Danny. And so I said, "This is the guy with the fastest growing bass channel on YouTube." I said, "Scott's got about 1.2 million subscribers. This guy's got nearly 500,000. Very important."
Brilliant.
Said, might not be in your world, but people are watching this guy. So, and there you go. Introductions. You never know where these things might lead.
Absolutely.
Then he says, "I'm really looking for a medium scale bass." I said, "Are you now? Well, have I got the thing for you?" Because I just brought back a medium scale Viv Wilcock bass that you'll see here on the channel that I've had here for the past week. I said, "Sit yourself down. Let's plug you in. See what you think of that." And he was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." I said, "Yes." I said, Viv's basses are handmade. Again, there's no CNC stuff going on here. This is all handmade, hand-wired pickups, the lot. He said, "It's pricey." I said, "Yeah." I said, "But the way you're going, I think you can afford it." And so I'm going to connect Viv and Danny together. I've had a little chat with Viv on the way back. I said, "You need to converse and start interacting on socials." I said, "He could be very good for you and you could be very good for him. So
absolutely,
you want to get your brand out there, this is the guy to go with." So we will see. It's what Brooks's Bass Corner is all about. Introduce it. See, without me as the conduit, you'd never met the Pink Bass Man. How about that?
Well, indeed.
You wouldn't have taught him he could have an omelette on his curry. You see?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
These life-changing. Exactly. That's exactly that.
If you actually check your email, I have sent some pictures across. Okay, that you could actually put up if you want.
For stuff to come through. There we go. I will get to those pics very shortly. Just there's another load from Lauren there as well. Westfort, what color is your Lionheart, Lauren? I will put those pictures up very shortly. You hang fire, Westfort. I'll be with you. Electric low end. Yeah, that's Danny. Danny. Yeah, Ollie. Good to see you. Visog. Yes, he is funny. He's just naturally funny when he's talking. He's not being controversial. Just funny. Just one of those, and a lovely disposition. Considering the position he's in, you've got millions of people that all this attention on you. And he probably feels like people that become celebrities, you have this, everyone's gaze waiting for you to perform.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it can be very off-putting if that's not the way you are, but you are on screen. But he was just a genuinely lovely guy. We had a lovely chat. And I'd heard people say, he's just great. He's just easy. And it was like, well, great. We'll get on fine then. There's no problem. We were just talking bass and, how's your channel? Well, how's your channel? I don't even need to ask him how his channel is. I can see it all on a daily basis. It's all good. All good. Beat after beat. That was a nice bass you just showed. Yeah, we'll speak to Al, but I don't think Al's selling. So that's not going to happen. Lauren says his bass is cream, brown, and white. We will see the pictures in a second.
Right.
Westfort, nice to have him.
Sort of brulee look.
Yeah, the photos will be up in 2 seconds, Westfort. I've just sent Mike 5 pics. Don't hesitate. I can send many more on Facebook and Instagram. There you go. Danny hates 5-string basses. He does, but that thing he quite liked because it's tuned E, A, D, G, C. But he said, I'd rather C was a B because he plays guitar.
Yeah.
So that's how his brain would work. It would make more sense for him if it was a B. Beat after beat. How come nobody really ever talks about the bass player for Thompson Twins? Ha! Now, that has been a conversation before.
It has actually, yeah.
Before you came on here, and someone was talking about the bass for, I think it was Hold Me Now. And I think it was worked out that the bass on the track on the album was not played by someone. It's a keyboard bass. But there's a.
Didn't we talk about this last week or the week before?
No, this is like months ago. This is like back in April, May time.
Okay.
And we did a load of investigation, but there is a bass player on another version of the song because it was recorded twice. So you can talk about it beat after beat. Probably wait till Zuma comes on because I think he knows something about that. Lauren, have you bought a new bass? Yes, I have. I will divulge everything shortly. Kieran Naylor, good to see you. Hey, dude, I'm the guy that caught you turn. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear.
Bye-bye.
D. Beat after beat, you played fretless, I believe. Yes, correct. Gareth, he's dealt with. Don't worry about that. Electric low end. I have a 6-string bass, tuned it C, E, A, D, G, C. If that works for you, go for it. Right, let's get Lauren's pictures up first, and we'll do Richard's ones. Let's just
the bass player, by the way, for the Thompson Twins, was a chap called Matthew Seligman.
That's right. This was a conversation on Talkbase a long time ago.
All right, yeah.
And it went round and round and round and round and round. And eventually someone found out all the information and updated it on Wikipedia. Right, let's go in here. So this is Lauren's Enfield Lionheart Air that's up for sale.
Okay.
I know Richard's holding his credit card very closely.
Not really, because I owned one. In actual fact, I owned the Lionheart prototype for years.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. In black and sparkle.
Well, Westfort, I bet that's tickling your fancy, isn't it?
Yeah, very.
That's very nice, Lauren. You sure you want to sell this?
Very nice.
You sure you want to sell this? There are more photos. Bear with me. We'll just get these up here. Here we go, gang. Now, why is that one not showing? Bear with me. Right, so that... there we go. So this is it without the LED, so you get to see more of the colour. This is quite good.
Yeah.
So you can see the timber, but it's got a burst ring. A burst ring. That doesn't sound good, does it?
Oh dear.
If you like, yes, an outline like a burst.
Yeah.
Going around the outside. That's nice. Well done, sir.
Control domes are actually different.
Yeah, he used different ones.
Oh, right.
You couldn't always get the same ones. Very good. There's another one. Hold on. Fingerboard. Is that a Snakewood fingerboard, Lauren? I know Snakewood because Bernie has it. He has a stash of it, which he uses on fretless basses. Rock hard, harder than ebony.
That's nice.
It's really nice. The figuring is, well, Snakewood is outstanding. And then there's one more. Let's just do that. Which is this Butte. There. So if anyone's interested,
very nice.
Lauren is in South France. It's being sold, or it's up for sale. If you want to, buy it, if you want to get in touch, 3,000 euros. I can put you in touch with the man. Mr. Prawn. I have no idea. Okay. Westfort, that's looking fab. I know Westfort is probably enjoying that because he just bought a white JD, so that sort of colouring is.
All right.
You're a poor guy, yeah. If you are looking to do a trade, he has got a King bass for trade, but I think Lauren is after a JD. I think. I'll let Lauren talk for himself, but and it has a detuner, very good. Strap button in an unusual place. That is reminiscent of the old Spectre and Warwick strap buttons used to be like that to make the bass hang in a particular way.
Yeah,
at a certain angle. Right. There we go. I think you got some admirers for that bass, Lauren. Franklin, not, but
very nice.
I need money actually, so we'll see. There you go. There you go. Right, let's have a look at Richard's new bass. Let's get these all saved up. There we go. And yeah, helps if you select the folder, Mike. That's good. Good start. Okay, here we go. So this is Richard's new acquisition.
There we go.
Belting. Burl.
Yeah.
Burl top.
Burl what? Walnut or any idea?
You need to speak to Bernie. He'll tell you. I think serial number's on the back, but on the back of the headstock, but sometimes he may base it and didn't put serial number on. If you show it to him, he'll know. He's got a great memory for timbers. So, you can just send him a picture. Yeah. Send him a picture and email it via the website.
Wes says, no, I am keeping my King bass.
Oh, you're keeping it now?
The actual next sentence would be, it will only be torn out of my actual cold and dead hands. Or
that's
something
not the
like
case. That. He was going to trade it for a King bass with LEDs at Bass Brothers a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then when he got told what the actual settlement fee would be, it was still stupidly just like out there.
Too high,
it didn't happen. That's very, I don't need to say it's very nice. I've played it. So, there you go. Yeah. Classic GB Spitfire. Although it wasn't a Spitfire when it was made, it was called a GB Standard.
Yeah.
Fast, aren't they?
Pretty quick, yeah.
The neck's really
quick. Yeah. Punchy as well.
Really speedy. Good. Yeah. And you got the flame maple fingerboard too.
Yes, it does.
Here we are. Scroll through.
Yeah, the actual sound sort of actually reminds me of a cross between a Stingray and something else. Jazz, maybe.
Well, that period of GBs have their own sound, which is why the Mark King Spitfire it wasn't a Spitfire then, it was a Standard. The sounds that you hear from the Mark King stuff in 99, 2000 are very different to the basses you would have bought from 2002, 2003 onwards.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And again, if you compared the Daphne Blue bass he had with the bass that Bernie made for Marcus Miller, which was actually a rumor.
Yeah.
Chalk and cheese. That the Marcus bass, and I think Bernie has got it now in his collection, is the loudest bass I've ever heard in my life. The EQ was off the charts because I said to him, well, can I have that in mind? He went, no, this is a one-off.
Never again.
No bass will ever replicate what this circuit does. I said, well, what is it doing? He said, it's more of everything and then a load more on top. And actually I thought, you know what? It's overkill. It would be like the Status, what's the guy? Jonas Hellborg, which had 36 volt circuit. It was like that. It was just like,
I remember that one.
Obscene.
Yeah.
And the weird thing was, and Bernie should have known this, Marcus was never going to use it because he's such a jazz guy. He might have brought it out on a tune now and again, but he literally played it at sound check, and I think he gave it back to Bernie and just said, I love it, but I'm never going to play it. Yeah. And I don't want to take your bass because, again, Bernie builds stuff for people and they've got to pay for it.
Yeah.
And I think the writing was on the wall with that. But if Bernie's still got it, it's an amazing bass. He did sell it. He sold it to a guy called Rob Aston. Rob, I've lost touch with. I haven't heard from Rob since about 2006. But he sold it back to Bernie. So
yeah.
Electric Low End. I think it's time to try and win a lottery and buy some basses. It does get like that sometimes. I can tell you. Westford, yes, that King bass was too much. Westford, but now I got a JD on a King bass. There you go. Yeah. What the world wants to know: what happened between Mark and Bernie? We've been through that discussion.
We have.
You would need to go back through the live chats, but there are 3 directions to come at that conversation, and I've heard 2 of them. I haven't heard the 3rd, but I know roughly what the 3rd was saying. In layman's terms, don't quote me on this. If Mark King starts knocking at my door, I know where it's come from. So basically, Bernie built in 2 basses. Actually built in 3, if you include the rumor. Mark's view was, with me using your basses, I should get the basses for free. Because you're going to sell more basses because I use them. Bernie's thing was, I build basses to earn a living. I need paying for the guitars. Then the next point I heard was that Mark got the hump because he couldn't get Bernie to build 2 basses that sounded exactly the same. And we've been through that conversation. No 2 basses are ever the same. And also from that 3rd angle, I got told that one of the basses Mark was playing full on and a fret popped out and he wasn't happy. So I don't know if that's true or not. That's all supposition. I don't know. I wasn't there. So that's sort of 3 views of the same outcome. Mark and Bernie apparently are still good mates. It's no biggie, but it got dealt with 25 years ago. So there we go. If Mark ever wanted the basses back, well, Morgan Roussel, who runs the level42.com website, has got them in his private collection.
Very good.
Here we are. Right, let's remove these photos from the stage. Otherwise it gets all cluttered up. I'll probably find there's a young man with a pink beard there waiting. He might be. He might not.
No.
He's probably doing his hair.
He's probably plaiting it. Yes.
That's it. That's
Quite
it.
Possibly.
3 views of a secret. Yeah, I think it's all fairly well known, that conversation. But the 3rd angle came from a fairly reliable source, so I took that as a fair comment. So yeah, there we go.
Very good.
It is. Good Lord, we've done nearly an hour. It's 5 to 9
already
here in London. Yes, it's flying by.
Disappearing.
Flying by. I've got a stomach full of pizza because I had the forethought and foresight to know I wasn't going to get any time to cook any food before I came onto this live chat and got off the tube. So I, in advance, ordered a pizza, which I collected from the pizza place as I got off the tube, which I thought was rather good. Yeah.
Right.
Not normally.
Well, I actually came back after my M69 queuing for miles, and I taught a lad a cello lesson in Nottingham, and then dashed back here, picked up tea on the fly, and then
as you do.
Then I got the GB out, changed the strings, set it up a little, and then
there you go.
Here we are.
Excellent stuff. Super duper duper. Yes, someone was asking, did I get a new bass? Yes, I did. I went and bought a G&L yesterday. I drove all the way to the Wirral on Merseyside. It took up the whole day. I knew it would. I left at just after 9 o'clock in the morning, and I got back here at 20 to 7 in the evening. But the bass was worth getting. Always wanted to buy one. Actually, that model, I've always wanted one of those, and I came very close to buying their Precision, their American Precision model a couple of years ago. There was one at Bass Direct, which was a cherry sunburst, and that's one of my favourite colours. And I missed it. And this one came up. I hadn't noticed it on Bass Chat. Hadn't been looking. I wasn't really looking for a new bass, but it's one of those basses that I've wanted to do reviews and demos of here on the channel. And back in the very early days of this channel, I actually had one here, a blue sunburst from Bass Direct. And I started doing all the photography and videos for it. And annoyingly, just as I got halfway through, I got a phone call. I remember I had my camera on a tripod and I was moving it around the bass doing the videos. I get a phone call from Mark at Bass Direct. Mike, you know that G&L? Yeah. You need to get it back here like now. Why? Because the guy that wants to buy it is here, and you need to get in the car and bring it back. And I was like, so I've still got the footage, or the half-baked footage, here on the on my hard drive and stuff. And as you'll know, it's gifted with a sort of an array of controls. And I was just getting my head round it all and working the manual out. Right, that switch does series and parallel. That one does active preamp, passive, preamp with a treble boost, and that's the pick. Right, okay, yeah, you got to bring it back.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so it never got finished. It never got done. It's one of those basses that people always get quite intrigued as to what all the controls do.
So, sorry, what's the difference between a normal G&L and a CLF?
Now there are different levels based on whether they're handmade or CNC made. So you've got the tribute stuff is the Indonesian stuff like Lakeland Skylines. Yeah. Tributes are G&L's version of that. Then you've got CLF. Then there's another one which is like Fullerton made.
Yes. Yeah.
So you get but if you start going onto their forums and social media and their website, there's a whole long list of that. None of this is simple, and they've changed things over decades where there will be that line and then there's that line, then that becomes that, and then something else was, and it's all a bit convoluted. You have to kind of follow the track through.
Right.
But this bass had its certificate of authenticity, so it's got everything there. It's like the Alembic build list. It's like you see it, who did what on the bass, who did the pickups, who did the routing, who did the polishing,
right?
Who did the spray, and it's like, wow, okay. So and it just looked in really good condition. There were a couple based around here. There was one actually down the road in Uxbridge, and the price was a little bit steep for me. And then when I saw the photos, it had all sorts of bangs and scuffs, and I was like, I'm not paying that for that. I'd rather drive to the Wirral and have one that looks virtually immaculate. So
half decent, yeah.
There we go. There we go.
Absolutely.
So that's that. It's in the other room at the moment. It needs
yes, and
strings
also,
need raising, and the pickups need dropping. So
very good. And also, of course, do people know what the trim of CLF is or means?
It's Clarence Leo Fender.
It is. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, I've heard so many people say the best basses he ever made were those.
RX GNL, yeah.
I mean, I've literally not had any time to play it yet, but I had a bit of a noodle yesterday, and I've reviewed several GNLs over the years, and I was always impressed with them. I remember being in the bass center when Randy Hope Taylor had a 5-string L2 500 made, and it came in. He'd ordered it, and it came in, and he hated it. I was there while he was trying it, and it was like, hated it. The neck was huge, because at that time he was used to playing jazzes and Sadowskis and what have you. This thing was like a tree, absolutely. And I remember him going, "Do you want to try and play this? Do you want to buy it?" And I was like, "No, I don't want to buy it, but I'll play it. I'll have a go." And the neck was just, it was such hard work. And I thought, yeah, I wouldn't buy that either. But it was an expensive bass. And I did reviews. I think we did one of their SB range. I think I did an L1000, and I did the Precision as well. And then I think I had a few others. I did a GNL ASAT at the Gallery, which is the one like a Telecaster shape.
Yeah.
And always really impressed, but it was like, I want to spend some time. I hate being rushed when a bass has got loads of controls and setting. I want to play it. I want to play it in a band mix, hear how it sounds, because what sounds good in your room doesn't necessarily sound great
true.
out on a gig. But never got one, and now I have. And I thought, do you know what?
Job done.
It'll make its money back doing the videos, doing some shorts, doing demos, review, what have you. So same policy as like with the Ibanez SR300. Not a bass I'd particularly go out and buy to use. I've got better gear, but very popular. Lots of people buy them. Do some review videos, do some demos. The Lakeland, the 4464, exactly the same thing. Loads of people buy them. Not a huge amount of demo videos on YouTube. Can't get one out of the company because the channel's too small. You're going to have to go and buy one. So we will see how things pan out. Mr. Prawn, Bernie was best mates with Boone Gould. Yes, he was.
Yes,
exactly.
Very good.
Yes, he was. I broke the news to him. I told him that Boone had passed away. Westford, you can't wait for the King bass vid. That'll be a little bit down the line. There are other basses in front of it. I've got quite a schedule of work coming up for the channel, so there's lots of stuff in front of that, but that will appear. Keep your eyes peeled. No doubt I'm going to tell you, like on the live chat before that goes live, I'll be telling you that's coming up. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
So if anyone wants to join me and Rich here live, you can just email me. There's a ticker running along the top of the screen. Email me at brooksysbasscorner@gmail.com. Send me an email. I send you an invite. You click on the invite and you come through. That's how it works. Nice and easy. Nice and simple. Yeah.
Very good.
There we are.
So
All
are you
good.
going to show us your
No,
GNL?
it's in the other room. I can't get out of the room at the moment. As I said at the top of the video, it's basically the column of space that I'm stood in. What you see is the tidiest bit of this room. You have no concept of what the rest of this office looks like, because I literally finished the filming at 3:10. Got the Wilcock bait. I can I? No, I can't. All the photos are on my phone. Keep watching. Well, actually, if anyone's watched the shorts today, I put 2 shorts up round about lunchtime of the 2 Wilcock basses I've had. So it's a new model. It's called the 102. It's got 4 P51 pickups, hand wound by Aaron Armstrong, who I think is the son or grandson of Ken Armstrong. What else can I tell you? There's a short scale and a medium scale. The medium scale is off the charts. Really good. The short scale's no slouch either, but the medium scale, wow, the tones, playability, setup, craftsmanship, fabulous. Very simple operation, 2 pickups, got a pickup selector switch, volume and tone. That's it. You'll hear it all. I had it all in my ear. Patricia Crevier, hey, welcome. I had it in my ears for about an hour and a half doing the videos today. And playing both basses, I was like, these are really lovely. They're really. I understand why people buy Viv Wilcox basses. They're fabulous. But I can't actually get out the door at the moment, and the bass is in the other room. So no, that'll have to wait for another time. You'll see it soon. It'll be on shorts and what have you. But yeah, but it sounds great. The GNL. It's a very different thing, very different to a Stingray. But again, I haven't had a chance to play around with the settings yet. So there's a lot going on there. You've got pickup selector, coil selector, 3 different preamp settings. So, there's preamp on, preamp with the treble boost, and then passive. You've got series and parallel. But annoyingly, the Japanese market got an extra setting on their GNLs where you can have a jazz setting. So instead of it being a 2-way switch, it becomes a 3. And you can have the humbuckers in single coil mode, so you get a jazz. We don't get that. I'm tempted to ask the gallery to see if they could do that as a mod. We'll see. We'll see.
Very good.
Westford, you're trying to guess what king bass it's going to be. Ha ha!
Well,
that,
not
I could
going
string
to be
that out for
mine
months.
because it's here.
No, that's it. I could string that out for a very long time. Lauren, any thoughts on the US Fender Dimension bass? Rich, that's all yours.
I owned one for 7 years. Absolutely brilliant. The passive standard one is good. I had the Elite HH one, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Recommended.
Yeah, I did a review of one in about 2014, 2015. Loved it. Thought it was the best bass Fender have come out with in about 30 years.
Yeah, definitely. Agreed.
And it actually was far better sounding in terms of the tones on offer than a twin humbucker Stingray, which is what it was competing against.
That's right.
And I'm a big fan of Stingrays. I love Stingrays, but the Dimension was Fender did their homework. But the problem is, Fender can't win whatever they do.
Yeah.
So they either keep reproducing the same tried and tested designs, or they do something a little bit different, and you'll get a small minority that think that new direction is great, and the old majority will moan about it. So they go back to doing the old stuff, and then people criticize them for that. They dip their foot in the water, try something different. Everyone hates it. They can't ever win. So it is what it is. Patricia, you bought a new P bass. Sounds like a tin can. How do I fix that? Sounds like the pickup's not wired correctly. What brand? What make? What strings have you got on it?
Yeah.
Put meat on the bones. We'll try and help you there.
Yeah, definitely.
If it's a standard Fender and it sounds like a tin can, sounds like the pickup's not right, or the wiring, the way it's wired, isn't right. That can happen. Or it could be the pickup's gone microphonic.
Oh yes, of course. Can do that.
Yeah. Albriano, greetings, gents. I've shown the guys your Stingray pictures, so very good. From the great state of Texas. Hey, Brooksy, what's up, my dog? Richard's the dog. British
Allegedly
brothers,
so.
exactly. Yes. Happy see you guys like my SR. I love that scratch plate. Where did you get it?
Good to actually see you, Albriano. Very nice.
Yeah. Well done, sir. I like that scratch plate. I know there are 1,000,001 scratch plate places, but that's particularly lovely red.
It is,
I love it. That's right up my street.
Nice, that is.
Westford, that's the subject. What's your favourite king bass?
Oh, that's an easy
I know
one.
what you're going to say.
Mark II. Every single time, apart from it weighs so much.
Yeah,
it's just insane.
That body's not for me. It looks weird. And as Mark said, he designed it to cover up his belly from eating too many pizzas. It's called the Pizza Bass by Rob.
Pizza Bass.
Yeah. He got a bit too regular with the pizzas, and he'd expanded. It was to hide the waistline. Couldn't use the standard Series 1 King bass. It just looked ridiculous. So he needed a bigger bass until he got trim. Lauren, you had the same, a US Elite, Yolanda Charles's one. But could not get used to a 5-string bass.
Unfortunately, I see.
Stick with the 4. Patricia Crevier, you think it's the strings, right? What are they in terms of gauge, if you know?
Yes,
and what brand?
Absolutely, and also what actual bass, of course, is it? Is it a
By all means, send me a
Fender, a
picture.
cheap brand or something?
Yeah, you can send it to me, brooks'sbasscorner@gmail.com. Let's have a look. I'll put the picture up and we'll see. We'll check it out. We'll try and see if we can help you here.
Definitely.
If it's the strings and it's got light gauge strings, you don't use light gauge strings on a P bass.
No.
You are asking for trouble.
No. The sort of
does not
lightest on a
sound
P is 40 to 95, but it will take you an age to actually, sort of set it up. Yeah.
Generally, they come cut for 4000, 4500 and 5.
Yeah, they do.
Less than that, you're probably going to need to put a new nut on. But I don't think you want to play light gauge strings. So I'm presuming you've bought it second hand. I presume that's not new. I can't imagine a manufacturer putting light gauge strings on a P bass out of the warehouse. That would be a bit mad. I'm just going to check the stream.
And Lawrence said, okay, I had the same US Elite. Yes, got one. Absolutely awesome thing.
Weird that they discontinued it. Clearly, they just didn't sell enough of them and thought, well,
they actually changed
Fender's
it
a funny company.
for the Ultra One, and that wasn't too bad. And then
the Dimension?
No, the
he's talking about the
Lawrence
saying he had the Dimension US Elite.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Yes. Great bass. Very nice.
I remember just the review and going, I remember sat in the gallery, funnily enough, and going, wow. Where did they get this from? What made them come up with this? Because it looked quite different.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
It didn't really look like a Stingray, and that's fine. But it had the pickups looked particularly sort of unique to them, and Fender don't tend to innovate when it comes to bass design. They stick to what they do.
Those actual pickups, the magnets were sort of U's, weren't they? Yeah. I think they called them something like horseshoe magnets or something.
That sounds right. Yeah, I think you're right. You're right. But it was high output, really high output. It was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
They've done something different for a change. Yeah. Very good. If you've got a twin pickup Dimension, keep hold of it.
Yes, because I was stupid and I traded mine in against a King Bass Mark II earlier this year.
No, that's fair enough. But
yeah.
I had a nice email. So I had that problem with the Matrix, and I had a nice email from Rob Green. Came back to me with a load of stuff, but I'd already taken the bass to the gallery. I walked in today, and Martin says, "Your bass is over there. It's all done." I was like, "Lovely, thank you very much. All fixed, all done. Silent, no popping, no screeching, noise, humming, buzzing.
Excellent.
Silent." Lovely. He's redone all the shielding, sorted all the connections out. There was some grounding issues. All done. Lovely.
Very good.
Well done, Martin Peterson at the gallery. So if anyone's in London or even in the UK and you need someone to look at your bass stuff, I've always gone to the gallery. I did use Andrew Anaconda for a jazz that I had, which I needed to turn around quick. But generally, I've always taken stuff to the gallery, and they're great. They're great. Michael Anthony, thank you for your comments. You commented on something the other day, and I thought, thank you. Can't remember what it was. I remember what it was. Last week you were on and you were asking us how to get the high glassy treble out of your Lakeland Skyline. You dropped off the chat, and within about 20 minutes, we had a guy on here who knows Helix stuff like the back of his hand.
Definitely,
you missed the opportunity. If you go back into last week's live chat, Mike, you'll see the guy from about halfway through, and it was about 20 minutes after you dropped off. And I said, Mike, Anthony, you're still out there. And you obviously weren't because you didn't respond. There's a guy on there. Hopefully he might drop back in. He knows Helix stuff really well. So you guys, he could be exactly the guy you're looking for. Now let's see what we got here. Lauren, underrated bass, the Dimension, maybe like the Japanese and US Jaguar bass. It was hotter.
Yeah.
Hotter output than either of those. The US Jaguar is hot, but the Dimensions were like, I remember being blown away because I'd pulled a
overpowered. Really, really good.
I like that, but
I do as well. Yeah,
a twin humbucker Stingray on the wall to my right when I was demoing this bass for the magazine review, and I pulled the Stingray off the wall, turned the volume up to full, and kept the EQ the same as the Dimension. Dimension was all over it.
Yeah,
absolutely all over it. Albriano, Brooksy, great review on that Ibanez SR300 EB. Cheers, Al. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed it. We live in a time that you can get. Yeah, thank you. I did have one guy complain last night, although it wasn't a complaint. It was a barbed comment. So I would appreciate feedback from people. You tell me whether the guy was right, wrong, or whatever. He said in a really narky way, it looks like you made that video in 2008. And he didn't say anything else. And I said, do you want to sort of explain what you mean? Because I don't know what bit are you referring to? Graphics, text, animation,
or whatever. Yeah.
Editing. What? That's just a flippant comment. What do you mean? Clearly he was just being a bit of a dick. But if anyone has watched the Ibanez review video and you think it looks old, then please kindly tell me what elements you think maybe don't look good. I've got some ideas what he was getting at. So on the next review video, I've got some tweaks I'm going to do. But if you agree with the man, let me know, because I think I know what he was getting at. But anyway, Al says, we live in a time that you can get a great, well-made, great sounding instrument for not so much money. Yes,
very true.
It's great for the kids starting out. It is. If we'd had people like Rich and I had a SR300 when we started, we'd have been made. I tell you, brilliant. Your progress would have been so much quicker.
Yeah,
it's got so many sounds, easy to play, just lovely. Westfort, that's a good trade, Rich. Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, it was.
Soldado, can you listen to our song? I don't know what you're talking about. No, I can't listen to the song.
TPA Rocum Cotton Candy or something.
I've deleted it. It's gone. Lauren, unfortunately, I have to go to bed. Okay. Oh, yes, you're an hour ahead, aren't you? Thanks again. Also, showcasing your bass. Pleasure. If anyone is interested in Lauren's Enfield Lionheart Air, message me using the email running along the top of the screen, and I'll forward you details to him, and you can strike up a conversation. Michael Anthony saying, oh, right. Thank you. I will. Lauren, anyway, I'm surprised that Fender does not make more of them. No, the Dimensions have gone.
Yeah.
They've been removed from
the them in about 2017.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Russell Zorner, good to see you. Coming through from Oregon. Hope everyone's doing okay. We're not doing too bad. Westfort, thought it was a great video. Maybe he's getting this vibe from the graphics. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to change up the graphics. I'm going to change up the text spec, or the spec text even. I'll do that on the next video. These things continually evolve. If I still made review videos like I did back in 2020, no one would watch them. So it's a constant... you're constantly trying to improve the 1%. Every video, try and make it 1% better than the last video. And that's how you get better at it.
Definitely.
Well, that's my theory anyway. Lewis Wingrove. Good to see you, legend. How you doing? Hope you're well. Hope everything's good. Russell pulled out the Fender. Fender Prophecy 2. Yeah, he's got a Fender Prophecy 2. That's a very limited model.
What's that one?
Fender Pro. You do a Google search.
Because I've actually read the books and things, but I've actually never ever heard of the actual Prophecy.
I know. See, my Fender book is over there in my rack, and I can't get to it. But basically, there's a mock-up of what the Fender Prophecies were going to look like.
Okay.
Do Google search. You'll see an image fairly quick.
Yeah.
After we chatted about it, and there's a model Fender should reissue. Boy, it's different than literally every other bass I have. 83, 84, 82 even. think. Someone will go on Google and find it out.
Just looking now.
Lewis, you got your new Ampeg Venture V7 210 cab, and how's it getting on with the Dingwall? Russell, it's from the Hartfield Starfield project era. Yeah, but I find the graphics very, sorry, across multiple conversations here. Westfall, you find the graphics very nice. It has its own vibe. You're being polite, Westfall, but I'll take it. Thank you. Yeah. Lewis, saving up for a 15-inch cab. Okay, very good.
Very good.
Russell's on. No, it was experimental phase Hoshino was going through in the 90s. You're right. There was another model they did in the 80s, which is very angular on the horns and the upper bout. That's the bass I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I've actually
I know someone that's got one as well.
That one. The actual Prophecy 2 looks like a sort of a Spectre-ish type thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
P&J pickups, high mass bridge,
yeah, and
a sort of an angled top on the actual head as well. Yeah.
Lewis, Ampeg and Dingwall, smooth and accurate, missing some bottom end. That might well be the Dingwall circuit. It's very mid treble based in that bass, but it's all good. Yeah, you get a 15-inch cab in there, that'll round it out. Russell Zorner, if you want to see a real Homermobile, check out the Fender Talon. I will do it later. Those were built in the USA, though. Your TL5 is way close to a Spectre. The body is carved to hug your body like a Spectre. Love that body curve. Yep. Love Spectres. Got two here to my right-hand side. Westfort, it is real. I love it. You're talking about the video. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I followed that review template for about 18 months. So it might be time to change it up a little anyway. I've got some ideas. The problem is you can spend hours fiddling with presentation on review videos. And actually what it is that just get the content right.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how it looks. But sometimes how it looks can be more important than actually what you're saying, what you're presenting. But it's you know, you've either got an eye for it or you haven't. Usually I'm pretty good, but there comes a point where you can just spend hours and hours and hours experimenting. And actually, as certain channels on YouTube at the moment, they're making real tracks, a lot of progress with minimal editing, minimal effort in the presentation. So being authentic is what we keep hearing from the YouTube educators. Be authentic. And I can be authentic. You won't get any editing. Like the live chats. I mean, goodness.
Jump cut. Yeah.
All of that. Where are we? That's that. No, Lewis Wingrove, Tony's killer. No complaints. Love the setup. There you go. The ding will be quite biting. And you're going to get that with a 210 cab because it's a 210 cab. I've said a million times, I'll say it again, you can't get away from physics. You can't expect huge amounts of bottom end and smooth
out of tens. That's right.
Well, out of tens, but out of a 210 cabinet, it's just,
that's right. Yeah,
bass requires power, and in order to deliver that, you need a bigger cabinet for the bass frequencies to breathe. If it's in a 2x10 cab, you haven't got that cabinet size. Yep. Why do you think people used to have 8x10 cabs? The size of the cabinet was as important as the amount of drivers in it.
That's right.
So that's how that.
Good evening, Stacey.
There she is. How are you, my dear?
Lovely Stacey. Well.
She's got your wig appearing soon.
I am looking forward to my wig.
Gareth Harrison, be authentic. You're starting to sound like Gibson from a few years back. Ha! Yeah, I won't make guitars with a headstock just buckles under no strain. Electric Lohan, living in a small apartment sucks. Can't have a too powerful amp to plug your bass in, or walls collapse and end up having angry neighbours. I was a student for many years. Don't worry, I've been down that road.
Same.
I've had the old knocking on the floor from the ceiling below. Turn that down.
Yeah, that's
trying to get to sleep. What do you mean? It's only 11:15.
Broom handle.
That's it. Yeah. Lewis Wingrove, there you go, Mr. Pedal. That's it. That's what you're famous for, Lewis. Russell, the Hartfield basses were the forerunner of today's SDR SRs. Yes. Hartfield DR. Well, no, that's not quite right, because the SDR SR sound gear stuff came out in 87, 88. So they predate that. I remember the very first SDR SRs coming out. I had just taken up bass, and I'd gone to the it wasn't the bass center. I went to one of the bass stores in Denmark Street, and they had out all the promotional flyers and catalogs and stuff. And there was an Ibanez one, and on the very front of that was the first of the SDRs, like a candy apple red for the rock players. And yeah, so that would be before those, if the Hartfield stuff was early 90s. But it was in that time. It was you know, sort of the late 80s, early 90s, sort of glam rock metal brigade. And actually, when you looked at the endorsee list for those basses with Ibanez, they were all poodle-haired Japanese and American rock people.
Yeah,
it was hard to discern the guys from the women. You know, it's like, not sure.
I know the type,
you, actually. The Hartfield DR series has that shelf-like neck carve, unlike the Prophecy, which got the same AANJ.
AANJ.
What that means. Acronyms no use on this. You got to type it all out, Russell. Albiano, bucket list. Richard, how about me and you get a Squire bass, relic it ourselves by kicking it around the car park? We do that anyway. Don't need a car park to do it up my drive. And drink some beer. Brooksy will film for the channel. Well, there you go. You're
Good
in
plan.
the wrong continent, Al. You'll have to tell us when you're over here. I'll book a car park up and do some charity relicking. Russell's. Imagine. What are you lot doing out here? Oh, just relicking a load of basses. Don't worry about it.
That's right.
Russell, it's like they put the new heel joint on the bass before it made it to their guitars. Highly likely. Stacy, howdy. There we go. Russell, noted, internal data cache corrected. Splendid. Russell, so the Hartfield lifted the neck joint. Nice. Yeah. Because those two basses sit very different in your hand. Certainly do.
Oh, okay.
All access neck joint. Ibanez's standard bolt on heel carve, no neck plate. Thank you. See, now you've typed that in. I know exactly what you're talking about. AANJ. Alcoholics Anonymous, New Jersey.
Could be, yeah.
Electric Low End. Although I live in the countryside, join the club, and nothing really happens there, join the club. So I think grandmas might need some bottom end heart pumping. Well, I'll let you deliver that. You can crack on with that. That's all fine.
Yeah.
Very good. It's coming up towards 9:30 here in the UK. Brooks's Bass Corner, live chat 132, coming to you from London town here in the UK. We're talking bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, bass accessories, bass strings, gig bags, cleaning materials, all of that sort of stuff. Great bass players, albums with great bass playing on. You want to talk bass? Come on in. That's what we're here for. Put your messages in the live chat section. We'll respond to them. If you want to join Richard and I live here on screen, you can do so. Email me via the email running along the ticker at the top of the screen, brooksysbasscorner@gmail.com. Send me an email. I'll send you an invite, and then we bring you to screen, and you can join the conversation. It's very lonely up here, just the two of us. Normally, like past couple of weeks, we had 6 of us all gassing away.
Yeah, that's right. In actual fact, I am actually going to need to sort of disappear briefly because I've got shirts. It isn't. No, I've got plenty. Look here. No, I have shirts to get out of the washer.
No problem. Understood.
Ready for teaching over the next 2 days. So I'll be back within about 5 minutes, 10 minutes or so.
No problem at all. We're not going anywhere.
So riff now.
Yes, exactly. It's like the old days. Electric Low End. What about Hartke amps? Your thoughts? Oh, I can give you loads of those. I was Hartke user for 10 years. I've still got one. I'm not going to show you because the office is a right old state. But there's a 2x10 combo right here with the model 2200 watt head, which is basically a 3500, but in a 200 format. Hartke were great, and the aluminium cone 4x10 XL cabs, when they came out in the mid-80s, were revolutionary. Completely changed. A totally different bass cab sound to Trace Elliott, Ampeg, acoustic, high watt, Marshall, all the other brands that were out there. They kind of led a trail. So for a long time, through the mid-80s, late 80s, early 90s, you'd find people with Hartke cabs and a different brand amp, because Hartke didn't have an amp. The amps came in 92. So I was saving up at the time, had been for a couple of years, to get a proper Trace stack. Lord knows where I would have stored it. I've no idea. But in my head, I was going to buy a Trace stack. And I heard some Hartke cabs at the Bass Centre. And I was like, I think I might be going down the Hartke cab route, but with a Trace head. And then as I was about to take the plunge, it was announced that Hartke would have amplifiers and they were going to be available here in the UK. So I thought, well, I'd rather be a one brand man than a two brand man. So I ended up buying a 3500 head 4x10 XL cab. And that was the setup for me from 1992 up until 2002. And it was great, did loads of gigs, but I started to get, around about 1999 was the first issue I had. So it had some dry joints on the circuit board, and it just stopped working on a gig. It was still powered up, but there was no sound. And the Bass Centre were distributors at the time, took it down there. Chris did his thing, sorted it out, great. Then the LEDs for the graphic equalizer, the ribbon cable, just died out. Okay, changed that. About early part of 2001, dry joints again, amp stops working mid-gig, and it just became a regular thing. And then I thought, you know what? I've had my money's worth out of it. I think it's time to look at some other stuff that's out there. EBS had started coming along. SWR was everywhere. Eden was everywhere. Mesa Boogie had more stuff. I thought, might be time to go and investigate some other bits. EBS won out. I became not an EBS endorser, but I bought my gear through Bernie Goodfellow, who's UK distributor, and used EBS right up until 2018 when I got the Aguilar stuff. So Hartke, got a lot of time for him, served me very well. I'm not convinced the quality these days is as good as it was back then. They had some issues. They had some issues quite early on by doing the transporter cabinets, which, yes, they were very light, but they were made from a really light timber compared to the XL cabs. Here in England, certainly in London, lots of the bass players on the covers circuit bought XL cabs and then couldn't understand why they were blowing speakers literally every week. And what they were doing was turning loads of EQ, loads of volume on the head, but the cabinets weren't designed to take the same amount of pressure that the XL cabs were, which is why the XL cabs were a couple of £100 more expensive. So you had all these students at the various like Bass Tech and ICMP as it became, and all of that, having to go to the Bass Centre every weekend with blown up 10-inch cones and 15-inch cones, and they just weren't designed for it. And over time they expanded the range, but I think where Hartke is now, so much gear has overtaken it. But like I say, I've got a 2x10 combo there. I've got the little HD 25 combo in the workshop. Serves me very well. I'm very happy with it. So it's all good. Russell, it's like the Hartfield sits on your hand, the Prophecy sits in your hand. Okay, both good positions, but night and day. Every bass is different. Ux human factors fascinates me, so I just find it interesting. That's okay. That's all right. Yeah, all of that. Aluminium cones, listen mode. Yeah, aluminium cones were great. I loved it. Loved the tone. Loved it. I had my Kubicki, the pink one here, the fretless. It was fretted back then. That was my main bass from 91 to 97. That ran through the Hartke rig. And then I had Mark King's Stingray. So I had Sorry, I'm on the wrong bit of the camera. Let's just turn that bit around a bit, shall we? Here we go. And that was the bass that I used pretty much most of the time up until I got rid of the Hartke rig. So, yeah. Gareth, Hartke's are great. I owned an HA300 with a 410 and a 1x15, which is a gigging rig for years. Was that an XL or transporter cabs, Gaz? Russell, I've always wanted to try Glockenklang, but full honesty, it's just because they have a really cool name. I'm not a great fan of Glockenklang. The amplification is one thing. Their preamps, for my taste, way too clinical. There's no character, there's no warmth, there's nothing that I've ever heard in a Glockenklang bass preamp that goes in a bass. We're not talking about rack mounts and amplifiers. We're talking about the preamp in a bass. Not for me. Not for me. I know some people swear by the amplification, but I've never had a long enough exposure to it to really have an opinion. Russell, Lost Lonely Boys use tone tubby cabs. Never used them. No, never used them. Just send them a Firebird 700. They'll figure it out or blow every cab they own. Yeah, he's back. We couldn't keep him away. Well done.
Absolutely.
Shirts out?
Shirts are out. Hung up. Yes.
Iron on?
Iron? No, I don't iron.
Mangle?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's it. Rotate the
fingers
mangle.
Are, you know, crushed.
Yeah,
regularly.
watch your fingers. Watch your fingers. Just checking all the bits and bobs that I have to do while we're doing a live chat. Just bear with me a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all good. I think that's good. Is that good? Yeah, that's pretty good. That's all going fine. Some guy, good to Hoyt. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Just check that. That's good. Stream health is excellent, apparently.
Excellent.
I'll take your word for it. Very good.
Clear anyway.
Right, new messages. Here we go. Gareth, you blew the 15 in your Hartke. I was transporter. Thank you. What I was saying. There you go. Russell, UX, user experience. That's all good. Gareth, you replaced it with an Ampeg cone for a while before shifting it on. It happens. Sim, good to see you. What you were on last week. Good to see you. You had the Hartke HA300, 3500, exactly what I had, with an SWR410. Great rig, but I ended up selling it as the whole thing was just too heavy for lugging around. Mate, for years, that's all we had. So I bought my Hartke rig in 92. I turned pro in 95. I didn't buy my first Neo gear. Now, 2009 for cabinets. Head, well, that thing in a black case that you see there, that's a Ashdown Superfly. That was sort of Class D small lamps before Class D small lamps were really out there.
Yeah.
But it still weighs a fair packet. We didn't have lightweight gear. That's a modern revelation, to be fair. Now you have a Mark-based CMD 102P, and it's fantastic. So much lighter. There you go.
Yeah.
How's it going? Yeah, we're good. We're good. Hope you're well. Hope everything's going good at your end, sir. Russell, so Glockenklang's analog in the guitar world would be Roland Jazz Chorus, which is chosen specifically because it's super transparent. I don't think Glockenklangs are transparent. I just think they're exceptionally clinical. Like, if you could create the coldest, harshest, no, not harshest, there's just nothing in it. And basses that I've played that have had those preamps, just nothing. I just like, is that it? Is that all it's got? Just a lot of bottom end, a lot of treble, and nothing in between. And it's like, right, okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
They actually come out sort of, how do I describe it on the Enfield? Plinky sounding. Yeah.
So the bottom isn't really bottom, it's just boom.
Yeah.
And so you don't really get any note definition.
It's quite similar sounding to the preamps you used to get in the Yamaha TRB Mark IIs.
Don't know.
No?
Never played one. No.
Oh, right.
But it's kind of similar to when you, like, Warwicks that had 2-band EQs, which is most of them.
Yes.
And you get players that turn all the bass up and all the treble up, and all you end up with is like this with a load of ding, 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 ding on the top, and there's no mid. There's no. That's not transparent in my view. Transparent is when you can hear everything. You can hear all the character of the string.
Everything. That's right.
Yeah, and what the string's doing, how the string is voiced. I've done enough gigs and seen enough bands, London covers gigs, where the bass player would have a bass with bass and treble and an amp where the bass and treble is all up. There's no, and it's just you can see the sound guy going, not another one, no, and it's like, yeah, that's what you got. So yes, I mean, check out some videos. Some people might like them. Again, my experience generally is with the preamps in basses, not the actual amplification, because to be fair, not a lot of places here in the UK stock it. Albriano, what are you saying? Oh, I seem to have gone too far there. Gone way too far. Albriano, hello everyone. Great to see you all here. Bass Players Rock. Yes. You're right. Andy Stratford, you'll be there in a mo. Just eating dinner. No worries. I haven't sent you an invite yet, Andy, so let me know when you are. Russell, or are there other amps that are even more clinical in that way without being too sterile? Sterile is exactly the word I was looking for. They do mean different things. Sterile would mean there's no character. And that's to me is what the Glock and Clang preamps I've heard sounded like. Yeah. Just my opinion. I'm not saying the amplification is bad. I have no experience of it, so I can't comment. Russell, can I just straighten up, replace my fiber fabric paper cones with the metal ones? Yeah, you can.
You can.
Without more mods, yes, as long as they're correct ohmage. Or is there some other cab mods needed to support the metal guys? No, they come in a diaphragm, screws. Take your old one out, connect on the back, new one in, plug it in, and away you go. Actually, the Hartke cabs were great. They kind of followed the Ampeg principle, whereas if you had a 4x10, they were loaded so that there were two sides. So if one cone went down, the other two cones on the other side would carry on. So, but one going would only take its sort of brother out. It wouldn't take all three out. So if you were on a gig, you could carry on with the knackered one. You just lose half of the loudness, which was good. It meant you could limp through the gig, get to the end, following day, take your driver out and go to the distributor and swap it over for another one. Are you telling me, Russell, you've never heard a Hartke cabinet? Really? You've never heard those aluminium drivers? Like in front of them? It's an experience.
Wooten uses them all the time.
No, they're using the high drives, which is the paper and aluminium combo. If you hear a 4x10 XL cab, so it used to be, it was just a 4x10, then they added in a horn, then they added in more porting. But if you heard one of the original cabs, which actually didn't really have, no, it had porting between the rows of cones, but it didn't have the tweeter. It was voiced really well, but I remember hearing when the cabs came out with the tweeter as well, I was like, I want one of them, because it suddenly gave you all the transparent highs that you didn't have on the regular one that didn't have the tweeter. Russell, can I we've just done that. Yep, sorry. Okay, I'll get it. Yeah. Gareth Harrison, lack of mids, yes. Russell, but I have wanted to try metal cones, just didn't really know if it was a big difference. It is. You'll get a far greater mid presence in your tone, but actually, if you've got a bass that is kind of super bassy and it doesn't have mid EQ, you'll find it really helps. And it actually, in a band mix, what I found for the bands I was playing in when I used them, was it would allow the bass to sit in a really nice place within the band. You weren't fighting constantly to add and subtract EQ. So if you sort of ran your amp fairly flat, you didn't need to boost a lot of mid on your bass. So when I had the Stingray, I'd keep the mids sort of fairly level, small amount of bass boost and a little bit of treble boost, but not a lot. And that was fine. And it just sat and sort of bounced along. It sounded great. Again, just my 2 penneth. That's just from experience. Yeah, what's being described is something that doesn't have a flat response. Gareth, smiley face EQ.
Absolutely.
They were everywhere. They still are sometimes. Walk into any rehearsal room. Russell, I'm kind of into blended cabs now. I'm wondering if I had a 4x10 but half loaded with metal and half regular cones. You could do that. It might sound a little odd. Give it a go. If you've got money to throw at it, give it a go. But I would really suggest, if you're going to buy a Hartke cab, get an XL. Don't buy transporters, please. You will not forgive me if I allowed you to buy a transporter cab. They're shite. They are. They're made of really sorry, YouTube. They are made of lightweight timber, which is why they were called transporters, because they were light to carry. Back in those days, we didn't have neodymium speakers. That wasn't a thing. Hadn't even, well, in terms of being affordability, they most certainly weren't available. It wasn't a thing. That only came in when did Mark Bass start appearing? 2003, 2004?
Yeah, about 2002 or 3, around there. Yeah.
So, by that point, a lot of the Hartke stuff was not fading out, but they kind of reached their peak in terms of popularity and then started to sort of drop off a bit. Now they're just in the mix. There's so many amp companies have come and gone, and Hartke is still there, but I can't say it's pulling up any trees. And yes, they've got Wooten. Yes, they've got Billy Sheehan, a few others, but how can I say this without being inflammatory? I think Billy Sheehan is using it because he gets paid for it. Hartke were around for years. He didn't use them. He was an Ampeg guy, and Ampeg quality dropped off. And I think maybe Larry Hartke and Billy had a chat, and it was like, it works for both. But again, Hartke stuff was always there. I never saw Billy Sheehan using it until the Ampeg thing died out. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm surprised, bearing in mind that he has pedals with EBS. He didn't investigate them. I don't know, but I think maybe the Hartke deal was already in place before he did the pedal. The pedal was 2012, came out in 2013. Well, Mr. Big came back in 2009, so his Hartke deal would have already been up and running at that point. And again, when you're in these deals, I know Neil Fairclough has a deal with Hartke. We've discussed it many occasions. He just keeps signing the paperwork. There you go. That's what makes you happy. Go for it. Westford, you're back. Very good. I apologise for anyone that was watching was offended by my expletive
outburst.
Sorry, but transporter cabs just wind me up. Yeah. They should never have been on the market. I understood why they were, but I never saw the reasoning. If you're going to put something out because it's lightweight, then it has to be up to the job. And like I say, you could go in the bass centre, were the distributors for Hartke, every Saturday morning, and there would be a trail of people bringing ripped cones, and they would literally file in the door all the way up to Chris's room and then come all the way back out again. And he had a pile of them in the corner. And as they'd walk in, he'd say, "Got your old one?" "Yeah, there you go. And there's a new one in the box. Buy 85 quid. Thank you very much." And it happened every Saturday. And why was it Saturday? Because everyone had been out gigging the night before. Loan the speakers, straight down to the bass centre, get a new speaker. That's the way it worked. And it happened every Saturday. Russell, just hearing something doesn't tell you how it responds when you're playing yourself.
Very true.
No, very quiet. Doesn't tell you how it responds. Mm-hmm. No, but in order to work that out, you've got to be rigging it up to sound wave meters and all that. That's not in my world. That doesn't happen. My acid test for any cabinet is get it on a gig. Stick it in a band mix and see what happens. Gareth, the one with the tweeter was called the 4x4.
4.5 XL.
4.5, that's correct. Spectral separation is good stuff. It is too complicated for my life, I'm afraid. I don't have time for all that. I barely got everything done today and got here in time for the live chat. which is a miracle. I only finished stuff in my face at 7:46. So that's why if you watch this live chat from the start, the first 10 minutes were a little bit ropey. Okay. Westfall, you play on Mark bass, playing Ampeg for the more big gigs. There you go. Excellent.
Yep.
Russell, improved spectral control is kind of selling already. No worries. I so few gigs I use backline on now. There's so much. I'm on IEMs and a pedal board, and that's the way it's going for me at the moment. Sim, you played through one of the new Laney Digbeth combos recently. You flat on it and sounded great with a Stingray. They're great amps. I had one of the first ones for review with the magazine when we still had the magazine. So that would have been
about 22, 23 around there.
No, the magazine finished in September 22. I think I can tell you it's here on my hard drive. I think it was 22, but it could be 21. I was really impressed. It was like the first Laney stuff I'd heard in years that I thought, that's really good. Laney, Digbeth, 21, May 2021. We were very, or I wrote it, no we about it. I loved it. I thought it was really good. I thought the pedals that came out at the same time sounded great. The problem for Laney, you can have Nathan East as your signature artist and you can pay him loads of money to do it. Problem for Laney is they've been going for years and they are associated with low to medium level gear that wasn't always reliable. And once you get that tag, very hard to get rid of it. I remember Laney's being everywhere when I started playing in 87 80s, through till about mid 90s. Any guitar shop, no matter where you went,
Laney everywhere.
Would have blue linebackers,
lettering on it. Yeah, that's right.
Blue, orange, white.
In actual fact,
and then they go on.
I actually started with a Laney linebacker 30 actually.
Yeah. They were everywhere.
All those years
Bizarrely,
ago.
There's one still in the gear cupboard at O'Neill's in Soho on Wardour Street. There's still one. That's like the backup guitar amp. If everything else goes down, that's in there. But I hadn't played Laney in years, but was really impressed. The Digbeth stuff is great. They did put a lot of money into design and research for that. So it's really good sounding amp. I know when I was running it here and I thought, you sure this is Laney? I'd like checking the box. No, it says Laney on the box. And very impressed. The pedals they came out with that were launched at the same time, they're great too. So there we go. Russell, I'm actually kind of regretting buying as many amps as I have. Don't even go down that road. I mean, if you could see, and all of it now is, apart from my Aguilar stuff, probably I'll be lucky if I get a fifth of what I paid for any of it. But
mad, isn't it?
How would we know? Maybe, fingers crossed, fashions are cyclical, and maybe my EBS stuff will come back into fashion. I don't know. I've got it. If someone asked me to do a gig and I needed that tone, I know what that gear does. I know what all my gear does, so that's why it's there. It's an arsenal of toys to play with as and when required.
That's right.
You actually kind of regretting buying as many amps as I have when I discovered that the preamp speakers are really controlling the result.
Very true. Yeah, it is.
That's the deal. Here we go. Ampeg quality has fallen off so far. People recommend the Bulgara clone, yes, which I have because it's got really good build quality and a beefier transformer than an SVT. It's the jalapenos. They just put the teeth on edge. No, I'm joking.
That's what it is.
Russell, I haven't had an SVT3, but the quality and operation of the Bulgara BVP 5500 has been without issue. Okay. Albriano. Russell, you are so right. There was a time everyone and their brother wanted an Ampeg. I never did. It was never a thing for me.
No.
I think maybe it's a bigger thing in the States because so many of the legacy bands, if you like, from the 50s, look at me, 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s were built on having racks and racks and loads of Ampeg cabinets. Yeah. Over here, Not so, because we've always relied on UK distributors for Ampeg, and there's never been a consistent one. They normally, a distributor sticks with it for like 3-4 years and then they get rid. At the moment, obviously Ampeg have been with Yamaha. It's probably the longest for one distributor. I could be wrong, I don't know, but I know when we were at the mag, every time a piece of gear would come in from Ampeg or of Ampeg origin, it was a different distributor. It was like every time it's like, who's doing this now? So you build up a contact with one guy at one company, and then when the next range came through, oh, it's not that guy. Oh, it's someone. And you'd have to rebuild those relationships. Andy Stratford, Trace Elliott still manufacturing. Trace Elliott haven't manufactured anything since about 2001, Andy. Trace Elliott, since...
The actual name is out there. Yeah.
2006, Trace Elliott is a brand. It's not a company. It's a brand owned by PV. So all the stuff that came out in the mid 2000s, 2005, 2006, 2007, all of that was PV made.
Yeah. Junk.
So no, Trace Elliott stopped being a thing in terms of the old Trace Elliott since about 2000, 2001. Got sold to Cayman and then got bought out by Gibson, and Gibson basically ploughed it into the ground, as with any company they buy. Gareth, your first amp was a Gorilla 50.
Gorilla. Oh.
Was that out of Argos? Because they used to have Gorilla practice amps were in Argos.
Yeah.
Superb. Russell, you're not trying to crap on Ampeg at all. That's all right. But when I was looking at an SVT to try out, there was just so much opinion about the SVT3 versus BVP 5500 that I just got the Bugera. It's fair enough. Fine. I've said many a time, I've had great experiences with Ampeg gear and I've had dreadful experiences with Ampeg gear. And usually the more expensive it looks and vintage and the big rack systems have been absolutely dreadful. And the things that didn't look that impressive, or you looked at it and thought, is that actually going to power up? Actually had the best tones. So my big beef with Ampeg is that there is no consistency. Never has been in my experience. And I know other players who've had the same thing. They're going to 10 different rehearsal studios. There'll be an Ampeg in each one, and don't know what you're going to get. Don't know what you're going to get. And it can be the same model. You might play one in one place and it sounds, oh, right, this is what I was expecting. Go to another one, exactly the same amp. It's like, where's the tone? Where's the tone? So you never know, is one slightly broken or damaged? I don't know. If ever I see Ampeg amp being provided, it's like, I'll just take one of my amps with me just in case. Electric Low End. See, I see your name, Electric Low End, and I've got a real thing for Bad Company at the moment, and there's a track called Electric Land. So every time I see Electric Low End, I keep wanting to say Electric Land. You should have bought the Hartke gear years ago when Thomann had huge bundle. Mate, go on eBay. Sometimes you can get 2 4x10 rigs with either a 3,500 head, a 5,000 head, or a 7,500 head for less than 200 quid. They do come up. I've seen them. And many's the time I thought, might be able to buy that and sell it for more. I don't think I could sell it for more because people just don't buy it. But it has a sound of its own. And if you can justify it, or whether you're going to use it on a YouTube platform or whatever, make some money back on it, it's worth doing. Thomann had huge bundles, and now they only sell Hartke combos and the TX300. Yeah, I suspect when Larry Hartke sort of departs this mortal coil, that might be the end of Hartke. I know his daughter is kind of involved with the company, but I don't see where it goes. I don't know what their product development is going forward. I don't know what other options. I mean, all the amplification companies are struggling. I don't know about Ashdown. I haven't asked Mark Goudet. I'm sure he wouldn't tell me if they were. Ashdown would probably be the exception because they come out with so many different products and they're constantly modifying and sort of ingenuity at Ashdown is pretty good. But I think all the amplifier companies are struggling because so many bands now, we're on IEMs, pedal boards.
That's right.
We've got all these problems with venues where you can't make a noise. and they want total control of the sound. And you know, the days of having, I used to love having a 4x10 or a 212 with a 210 on top, running an amp, proper good night. You know, I don't think you can do it in a lot of places. Certainly not here in London anymore. Zoomer, look at this. My mum will be pleased. It's a highlight of her week.
Here he
Zoomer
is.
comes on here.
Good evening, Mr. Zoomer.
Such a nice young man.
Good evening.
That's it. How are you?
How are you too? And how's everybody else?
Yeah,
We're okay.
rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
All right.
You've only just turned up. You don't.
Yeah.
You haven't seen. You haven't seen.
It's been one of those work days, so I need you guys to give me the
sit back.
Cliff notes.
Sit back. And this happened this afternoon.
String space is very wide as well.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know, for such a strange instrument.
Go. So in a minute, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to knock out Supper's Ready by Genesis, all 23 minutes worth,
Jazz Odyssey.
followed by Tales of Topographic Oceans, all 4 sides, of course. Never sounded funkier.
Yeah, well, the reason why I'm doing this is I don't like dubbing. I could have started dubbing now. You know,
So light.
I know so many people.
Yeah.
There you go.
wow.
Wasn't planned. It wasn't planned until about 20 to 4.
Crazy. How long did you guys hang out?
About an hour and 10 minutes.
Cool.
Mm.
So I'm assuming that was all recorded and for a separate treat that you will edit. at
That
another
was
time?
just. It was just recorded on the fly. I said, "You all right with me doing a couple of videos?" He went, "Yeah, absolutely." He said, "Just send me the videos so I can use them as well." I said, "Yeah." And
Okay.
I knew he was down here because he posted on Instagram this morning that he was doing some stuff with Rotor Sound. And then it turned out he was at Andertons today doing videos and stuff. And I was going into the gallery to take the Wilcock basses back.
Okay.
And he messaged me because I'd messaged him this morning and said, "Oh, you should let me know. We could have done lunch or something." But okay. I said, "Well, look, if you're in town, I'm going to be at the gallery this afternoon." And he messaged back and went, "Oh, no, I'm busy. And anyway, so I'm going into town on the tube and I get a message. "I'll be at King's Cross at about 10 to 5. I said, "Well, I'll be only at the gallery at about 20 to 5. So why don't you just walk up the road and I'll meet you there?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll do that." And I thought, I bet he won't. And I'm down in the dungeon with Martin and
He proved
Charlie.
you wrong.
And I see it on the monitor. He's at the door. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I went up and went, "How you doing?" He's like, "Yeah." And what you see on the video is exactly what he is. Sometimes he's a bit
Awesome.
more raucous, obviously, for presentation, but lovely guy. Really
Cool.
lovely guy. I could have just sat there for like 6 hours and we could have got a cup of tea, bit of cake, and we'd have just played basses and been happy.
I'm
And-
sure
and
you will
he
at some
play-
point.
Oh, he can play. Yeah, but I've said next
absolutely.
time you're down, if you give me heads up like a day or two before, then we'll
Yeah,
either
yeah.
arrange a lunch or go out for dinner or something. And yeah, he is what he is, down to earth, and yeah,
That is awesome.
great. So there is another video which I'm
Right.
going to try and put on, but it's like 4.5 minutes long. But I just want to get towards the end section, so let me see if I can do that. I'll try. There's just one more. No, that ain't it. Wrong folder, Mike. That's the wrong folder. You want that one because he had a little. File's too large. Size limit for video clips is 200 meg. I think it's 1.7 gig. I'll edit that up. That'll be for next week. But he did a little shout out for the channel, so yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, so that's that.
Fabulous.
That's that. How's things with you?
Good. I am doing a lot of well, how should I say it? I don't even know. There's a lot of moving around, switching over to a new computer for my work stuff, and then that got me going. Man, I really should upgrade my studio computer. I've had it for about 8 years, man. So it's definitely showing its age, waiting for things for
I've
audio
got that
to
coming
render
my way.
and stuff
Because
like
you know,
that.
Windows 10 security is all gone next month.
That too, yeah. And I actually do have my machine on Windows 11, but still, you know, when I'm doing certain rendering, it hangs and yeah, and it's getting to the point
graphics
where
cards. It's graphics cards as well.
Yeah. The funny thing is this. So in my video editing program, I use Sony Vegas. The actual rendering, by the time I get to the point where I'm going to render, it uses the GPU of my graphics card, which I bought not too long ago. It was about a $500. I think it's like a GeForce 4060. So it's great. It renders pretty damn quickly. But actually editing the video relies on my CPU side, and that is a bear because it's just not great, and the preview is really fuzzy, and just I really need an upgrade on the CPU side. So then I'll just put my graphics card in the new computer. It's that. So yeah, you know how that goes. Then you're researching. Well, how should I go with this? Should I transplant? Should I just buy a new one from scratch? And should I do this? And should I do that? And
just buy a new one. Don't ever try and transplant stuff from an old machine.
Yeah.
That's like
oh, well, I've done it, you know, because, you know, being in IT, you're a glutton for punishment, right? And you're like, oh, I can do that. I'm in IT. I should do that. But I even tell people what you just said. Just buy a new one that's ready to go.
After 8 years, the motherboards
begin afresh.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had mine. Mine will be
and
10 years old in February, and the one before that was 10 years old. I get 10 years out of a.
Yeah, I try to too. That's
desktop.
a good goal, because that's what I try to do too. You know,
it pays for itself. Look, on the YouTube side of things, you know, it if you've monetized, it's paying for itself. So. Lord knows I spend enough hours tied to the bloody thing. So,
that's the thing too, is I'm trying to justify it that way. Like,
I think all those hours spent during COVID editing videos when I was learning how to do it and literally tied to it in a chair and what, you know, getting foot cramps and leg cramp. You got to get up, you got to get out and do stuff. Don't just sit in your chair, and before you know it, 15 hours of the day have passed and you're still working on that same video. It's like, oh my God.
Speaking of which, I know I told you as much in the comments to the video for your Ibanez review, but man, the whole time I was watching it, I was just thinking, gosh, this edit was just a beast. All the clips of all the different settings, and then the graphics. No. What do you mean, no?
Secret. I'll let you into a little secret. So I have a method now for how I do stuff. So any bass, whether it's mine or one that comes through the door, it gets a 60-second shorts review. It gets a 3 Great Things video, which is a short. Let's just get this right. So that's those two. I then do the demo, and then that demo. So the demo is the review, but without all the chat and the technical spec. It is literally just the playing. And the reason I do that is about 4 months into the channel, all I'd been doing were bass reviews, and people were going, they're great, but I just want to hear the sounds. I don't want to hear all the chat. And I thought, well, that's easy enough. I'll just give you the playing stuff, and it'll cut the length of the video down in half. So people haven't got to invest 10 minutes to watch it. They can watch it in 4 or 5. But as time has gone on, those demos have become longer, and the reviews have become, I changed the way I edited them, but the footage that's used in the demo is the same footage that gets used in the review. So all I do is I take that and put that into the framework of the review video, and then when I'm doing the review, all I've got to do is the spoken audio, the spec graphics, and then all the little chopping and changing when that's going on is the stuff you see in the 60-second review.
I get that,
It's
but
just recycling the footage.
But every graphic you're doing is unique. You know, 50% bass, 10% treble, all that stuff, right?
Oh, that's
that is.
Well, the way I do that is so when I'm, again, that's when I'm doing the demo video. You have the full length video.
Yeah.
You've got the audio, which my phone or the camera will have picked up. So I'm saying what the changes in the tone or the settings are. I then, once I've done a little text graphic, which is what you see on the screen, which is what those settings are, I then take that audio out and I put the playing through the audio interface in. It's already segmented up.
Yeah.
But in terms of writing the text, there's already a framework for it. All I've got to do is change what the percentages are.
Sure.
And most basses have similar controls.
But even in that one video, you did that
a lot.
20 times. I mean, come on.
I had to because you had the power tap setting. So with 3 different settings before you even got near the.
See, this is why you should only review one pickup basis with very few controls.
Yeah, there's not many of those though.
I had it in my areas.
But the weird thing was I had the Wilcock videos here today, basses here, and I'm looking at the clock thinking you got to get out the door or you're not going to get to the gallery before they shut. And I'd promised Viv that I'd get those basses back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started with one simple, 2 pickups, 3 position selector switch, volume, tone. There's no EQ or anything. God, it took me like 40 minutes to do the first one. I thought, you've got to try and cut this down. What I was doing was over recording the takes, so I've got plenty to pick from.
Yeah.
By the time I got to the second bass, it was like, instead of doing 30 run-throughs of a passage, I was doing 6. And I was so focused on it. But the thing was, you were doing 3 settings on 0% tone, 3 settings on, rubbish. So if I'm doing fingerstyle, I've got to do takes for each pickup at 0%, 50% and 100% tone. Then do slap takes, 3 pickups, 0, 50%, 100, and then pick playing all again, and it added up. But the second bass I think I did in about 25 minutes. So
it's a lot of editing, nevertheless.
It is. But I have to say, from 5 years back, and people go, have you thought about doing this in your video? I generally get good comments. I get messages, and you'll see them in the comments section. People go, I love your video. Because of that, I went and bought that bass. Or I didn't know such and such, but your videos sort of highlighted what I wanted to know because I couldn't get to the store to go and try one. So that's the principle of what I do. That's the whole.
Yeah, no, it's very well done. That's my immediate thought though is
all that editing.
Oh my God, was
hours worth. Yeah,
Mike must have drank like 20 beers for this one.
No, I think. When I'm in I'm in the
10.
process. 10 bottles of vodka. Now I'm in the process at the moment of doing videos and demos. I get back into it, and because I've created a framework in my video editor that makes it very easy just to take like a chunk of footage out and put what I need to put back in.
Yeah,
it becomes quite easy. But when you look at the actual storyboard, and sometimes you see on educational YouTube channels and they show you what people are doing in Final Cut, and my stuff looks simple. I'm like, what the hell are they doing there? But what they're doing is they're adding sound effects every time something happens on the screen, and graphics, and again, there seems to be a thing at the moment where the most popular channels at the moment have regressed their amount of editing work. The channels that are doing really well haven't got loads of production and, infinite edits and all of that. The ones that are doing really well and racking up big numbers are the ones that are quite sort of simple in their production.
Yeah, kind of like
apparently
trend towards more of a grassroots look, I guess. I mean,
it's that authentic.
It still
thing.
Looks nice, but the authentic thing. You're right. Yeah.
The other thing I'm very wary of: you can make something look very nice, but it can look very aged. And I'm very aware that stuff that I did 5 years ago now looks awful, but at the time it was like, oh, that's quite good. But things move along, and
it's just like music,
when we put
right?
stuff up on. Well, yeah, but we put stuff up on our channels.
Yeah.
But it's always going to be there unless you take it off. Unless you Phil Mann, you remove half your videos every 6 months, which I don't know why he does that.
No, that's crazy.
But it's.
But hey, it's a snapshot of where we were
where
at that
you were
time,
at that
and
place,
I like
exactly.
that. I like that progression.
That's it. Right, I'm going to rattle through these messages. Westfort, your dad has an Ampeg PF500 head. Very good amp. I had one here for review a while ago. Lee Borton, it was always shops full of Laney and Carlsborough. I remember it well.
So
if
do
they
I.
didn't have
Carlsborough
Trace
amp.
and stuff, Carlsborough's.
Oh, and
Carlsborough's
loads and loads of
everywhere.
PVTNTs as well.
And TKOs.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
They were great. They were bomb-proof, those combos.
Yeah.
You still see them now, occasionally turn up and they're still working. And they've never had any repairs.
Actually, think about it. One of the schools I actually teach in has a sort of a modernish PVTNT branded as Fender.
Really?
Yeah.
Has someone done something, or was that? Oh,
no, it's all, branded.
Look who's here.
So maybe Fender bought them or
well,
something.
I'll tell you, I put that as a question to his lordship. I've not seen that, but we're
Yes.
talking about PVTNT TKO combos being branded as Fenders. Can't say it's something I've ever seen.
I will take a picture of it this Thursday.
Please do. Unless they're brand new, because the old ones are very specific.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless someone's just used the chassis.
Oh, the badge or something, huh?
Yeah.
Or maybe Fender licensed the
No, not to PV.
design.
That's why I'm surprised.
amp?
No, I can't see it. PV still do their own stuff. I don't know why they would want. The only thing I did hear a while back was there was some money problems at PV.
Right.
And there was talk of one of the bosses possibly leaving, but I don't know if that came to anything. Andy Stratford's after an invite. Okay, there we go. How's Mr. Pink Bass Man? You all right?
I just had curry number 3 in 3 days.
I'm jealous.
Explode.
Very jealous.
Don't be jealous. You don't have to live in that house, Richard.
A hotel because I'm in Memphis, so.
I was going to say that's not your usual background.
No, it's because I'm actually camped out here. I have to go back to the cave tomorrow.
There we go. Young Richard has a new bass.
I do.
Don't tell him.
What?
Don't tell him. Don't tell him. I'll do the honors.
Oh,
Right.
I'll do the honors. Recognize this?
I believe you might have played it.
He has. I put it in his hands.
All over
Wow. Look at that burl.
Yeah.
That's it.
I recall that one.
Spitfire.
Yes, indeed.
Pretty.
I can hear someone else's joy. I'm guessing it's Mr. Stratford. It is.
Oh, yeah.
Here we are.
Here we
Yes,
come.
young man.
Yes, indeed.
Pretty.
Evening, Andy.
Is
Here we
Yo,
go.
yo.
Mr. Stratford.
Hi,
Here we are.
I'm here.
How you
Here we
doing?
come.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Evening, Andy.
Yes.
Oh, guys, that's a lovely bass.
Yo,
Rich.
yo.
It was.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm here.
It is.
Here we
You
come.
gotta hear it.
Evening, Andy.
That's it.
Hi, boys. How you doing? Okay.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. I'm just going to quickly rattle through these.
You gotta hear it.
Evening, Andy.
Hi, guys.
got
How
it.
you doing? Okay. Let me
Yeah,
just
we're good.
turn that
We're
one
good.
off.
I'm just going to quickly rattle through these.
You gotta hear it.
It's like a prog rock album.
Very strange, yes.
Echo
That
cancellation.
should be
That's what
better.
I
Should
need
be
to do.
online now because I've got both going on, both Facebook things going on.
There we go.
So that's
There we
better.
go.
Ah, there
That's
we
got
go.
it. Westfort, your dad also has an old Ampeg 4x10. Well, you're overloaded with good gear there, so excellent. Gareth Harrison, seen a few bassists use an Ampeg 8x10 on its side. I've done that with my SL212s. I ran them horizontally on the floor and stacked them, which was an interesting evening. So it's more like 2 410s side by side. Yep, seen that done. Russell, well, I could certainly set more beers on it. Very, very good. Gareth Harrison, Nicky Wire. I can't stand Nicky Wire. He said something about Freddie once, and I thought, you pompous. Yeah, I won't go into the rest of it. Manic Street Preachers, for example. Okay. Andy Stratford, we didn't know that they are very heavy. The only thing that Mark King is missing with his JDs, he ain't going to use Trace ever again. I don't even know what he did with the old stuff. I'm guessing it all went back to Trace, because when he sold his gear at the Bass Centre, there was no Trace Elliott stuff in there, not that I knew of. Russell Zorner, that happened a bit with Sun too. Yep. Once you get Sunbox gone through, they're war machines, but even though they're a hometown brand, got to say that early builds were also kind of hit and miss in the soldering work, usually the case. I think all the good soldering techs worked at Tektronix, which was just a few miles down the road. Very good. Sometimes you just stand in the room and play just to feel the pressure waves crashing through your body. Well, if you want to go and stand in the room with Jamie, he'll soon sort that out for you. Russell Brooksy with the heckle, always. Who was that? I can't remember. There was someone there being rude and obnoxious. Danny Sapko, of course. That wasn't a heckle. I wasn't heckling him at all. No, we were having a good laugh. So honestly, I had no idea who it was until suddenly every short and every shot and lesson channel has this guy on it. Yeah. If only I could get on the influencer mailing list, I'd know these trends. I took him to the bass gallery and two of the blokes in there didn't even know who he was. And then I said, if you just go on your phone and go on YouTube, see what the first short that pops up on your phone is. And it was him. The best bit, as I said to Rich earlier in the night, where you saw us there in the gallery, if you went forward where the guy with the green jumper was, there's steps up to the till. A kid came in with a bass, needed some work doing. He saw Danny, and it was like he'd seen Jesus. It was like,
Really?
It was like, he couldn't believe it that the guy he's been seeing on his phone, on his computer for a year or more, was sat there in front of him playing bass.
Wow.
But like I say, Martin, the boss of the gallery, didn't know who he was. I had to explain to him, you don't know who stood here. He said, well, no, tell me who. He's very nice to meet you. But I said, this is like the biggest bass YouTuber that if he carries on the way he's going is going to overtake Scott Devine's numbers. Then it came home. Then Martin's like, oh. And Charlie, that used to work at the gallery, was there. And he knew instantly. He was chuckling. I said, well, you know, I don't need to tell you, do I? And he went, no, I know exactly who he is. And he was lovely. He was great. Very good form. Very good form. Russell, physical rehab time. Everyone stay healthy. We will try. Thank you, Russ. Thanks for all your contributions. Albriana, if I'm not mistaken, that dude really doesn't like 5-string basses. No, he doesn't, but he liked that one. He liked that. He would like that one. It was a 1966 Fender 5 in candy apple red. You want it? $6,000. That's the price on that.
Bargain.
Bill Clements, good to see you. Billy Boy, as Jamie always says.
Billy Boy.
Hang on. Electric Low End, Albriano. Yeah, Danny doesn't like 5-string basses. He hates them a lot, but he liked that bass because it was tuned E, A, D, G, C, but he wanted the C tuned to a B, which would make more sense for him with his guitarist brain. So he said. Rich saying hello to Bill. Yeah, Gareth. PV for you went downhill around the time the Undercover Boss episode.
Yeah, it was a TV show.
It was on the telly. It was on the telly. They had somebody go in and they had the boss and they had, well, Stuma, tell them about it.
Yeah, it was a show where, they send in the boss and, well, they film the boss. He's undercover, but the employees don't know that he's actually the boss.
Right, yeah.
And the letdown at the end of that episode was that everything seemed to be going well. And then they did an update and said, oh, PV closed the factory. So, like, everybody lost their job. It was kind
in
of
America.
Yeah. I forget where Meridian,
Mississippi.
yeah.
Since the late 60s.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, they sold.
When was this?
This was
ages ago.
This was some years back, but then they reopened the brand and they're making everything overseas. So,
right, okay.
So that's when they came back with the Elf for Trace and all that.
Got you. That was the big thing. That was for those of us of a certain vintage. That was the big thing with PV. It was made in America, and that's why it was bought. That's why TKOs and the TNTs were bomb proof.
Right.
They might have weighed a bit, but they had Black Widows in them, and those things
weighed about
a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Electric Low End, or Electric Land, if you like, Bad Company. What happened on that show? Well, okay, we've just explained that. Bill, still using a PV KB100 for your bass and drum machine. Very good. Good. Adrian Tor, hi. You're electric guitarist. But you're okay. Come on in. Am I in the right place? You can be. We're talking bass guitars. If you want to come in and talk bass, great. If you want to talk about Fender Strats, wrong group, man. You're not going to get any of that here. But if you want to talk basses, bass players, bass gear, you're more than welcome. Just be pleasant, be friendly, be nice. No problem. West Fort, Mr. Rose. Mr. Rose? Hello, Mr. Rose. What's going on, Westford? You crossed over your live chats. Are you moonlighting on
Is he talking about Jamie by any chance? Rose?
Maybe. Hello, Rose. John Cooper, evening, Mike and gents. Hey, been away for a while. I know you missed our gig at South Mill Arts, Uncle Funk, 2 weeks ago. But back, just popping in and say hi. There you go. Bill Clements. This calls for the old Billy Baru. I don't know what that is.
Billy Baru.
Patron incognito. Is there something in the water tonight? And I've not had any of this because there's some cranky old messages.
I think generally, people are sort of speaking without any sort of, context.
Full moon.
Context is king. Come on.
Or they're hearing voices and replying to that, and I've got no idea quite. Anyway, Gareth Harrison, you'll find the episode on YouTube Centre. Very good. Could count on you, Gaz. Man of sense. Bill Clements, Caddyshack.
Yes. Movie, 1980.
Yeah, I know the film.
Hello.
What are we talking about? Oh, Billy Baru. Right, okay, go. I'll get to lie down later on, I tell you. Anyway, it's just coming up to 10:30 here in the UK. I've got some pictures from Albriano of his gig. I tell you, that's a very... See, I'm envious of that, Al, because as I said at the start of this live chat, I am literally in a quagmire of mess here. So this is Al's setup. I'm supremely jealous of this. How do you keep... It's like Stuart Clayton's office. How do you keep that level of unclutter?
Wow.
I can't...
That's so tidy.
No way.
I tell you, you're a woman's dream, Al, frankly. My other half sees that picture, she'll go, well, that's what yours needs to look like, so get cracking. It can't happen. I need my stuff all over the place, but not quite like it is today.
That's yes.
You're dropping in and you're doing a great Norman Collier.
Of course.
So spray that one again.
I said that's a tidy up to the max.
That's I tell you, that's like,
that
although where the hell do you put your legs when you're at the desk? Do you sit
around the amp?
You dance around.
Cuddle it with your thighs.
You get sore thighs. You bang your shins on the side bit.
Yeah.
You need to have a rethink there, Al. What are you thinking?
I think it's sort of less tidy and more a sort of a branch of IKEA, isn't it?
It's certainly getting along that way.
Less.
Now then, Richard, context is king. We need to know what you're on about, guys. Very good. You're right. Electric low end. Oof, Fender Strat and awful volume pot placement. That's why I prefer Pender. Oh,
Teeth.
Fender
Teeth,
P bass. Teeth, exactly. Teeth and lack of them. Yeah. Albriano. All right. The full crew's in the house. Southern California, Tennessee bass players in the house. Super Zoomer, Super Pinkster. Blimey. You looking to get on the payroll? Stacey, that is tidy. That's a side saddle situation. You didn't want to say that with a speech impediment. That's a side saddle situation. Yeah, you don't want that. We don't want that. That's all good. So what's happening in Mr. Pink Bassman land? What's going on over there then?
Oh, doing a wee bit of business. In the next couple of days, I'm going to start filming a long, and Mike, you know this, a long video that is going to be for all, and I'm going to say this carefully, for all of the bass nerds everywhere, because it is going to be a long-form video with 4 JDs in the video.
Ooh.
Oh, hello, Andy. So we have 4 of them. So we've got the 2 pinks. We've got the 2 pinks you know about. We've got the stripes. We've got the blinding fretless. And then we have Sir Nick's Blue Monster. And then I picked up just for using purposes the GA24 in pearl pink. So we're going to have a roundabout, and we're going to go through all 4 of them in the long, everything going through and all the little bits and bobs, and then we're going to have a go on each one of them. And you never know, I may blend them all together at the end. So we shall see.
Keep you busy.
That's the idea. Well, it'll keep my cameraman busy and my editor as well.
That's it. That's it. Very good.
Very good.
I thought you'd already started it.
Well, I was going to, and then I got called up to come up this way. So I'm about 3 hours.
Right.
I'm about 3 hours from all the pinkness. So
got it.
I couldn't bring any with me because I have some other stuff to attend to. So we're taking care of it. Headed back to the cave probably tomorrow.
Grand and groovy.
Indeed.
Very good.
Yep. So that's about
very good.
I did find out if you want to hear what some of the JDs sound like recorded on a real record, there is a series of sessions that I did for a guy, and his thing is called Shockwire Saints. And he's putting bits and bobs out on Bandcamp, so you can actually hear the different basses in action with the rest of a band.
Okay.
So that's
very good.
So there's that. Some of the things I've been doing session-wise are starting to appear magically after mix and master. So those will be out and about.
Splendid.
Yes, indeed.
Splendid stuff.
Super, super, super.
Yes.
I do have to
look forward to it.
Richard. Did the Spitfire, did you go select it by hand or did it come in a package?
I went there personally and traded the Stingray Special 5 for it.
Well done.
And while I was there, I did play several others, which were, some of them were quite surprising. So I played a pale blue version of my American original jazz, and it literally weighed twice as much, and it sounded terrible.
Right.
Thought, okay. Fender is, as of course Fender does. And I played the JD Mark II with the little cutout groove for pulling. Yeah.
Series funk groove, yes.
Wasn't particularly impressed by it.
Yeah, some of them are not, of course.
Yeah, it was okay.
Did you try the fretless?
Did I what?
Did you try the fretless one?
The fretless one? No, I didn't. No.
That one might have made you get a little tickle in your tummy.
Oh, I see. Maybe next time.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Yes. So, yes. Been over there today. So, yeah. And of course, queued in loads and loads and loads of traffic. So, it's great.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Happy days.
We love a bit of traffic.
Don't we all?
I didn't last Thursday. I was trying to get from junction 13 of the M5 across to Malmesbury, and they'd closed every route. Thanks a lot.
It's grim, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I actually had a pretty good run yesterday up to Wirral, but I was fine until I got to just north of Birmingham. Satnav said, don't carry on up the M6, go via Whitchurch and Newport and Chester. I was like, yeah, that's all right, I know that. Did that, and then got stuck between 3 roundabouts with no turn-offs left or right because it's speed calming measures, and they were resurfacing.
Yeah.
So it took 45 minutes extra than it needed to. And it was a 4-hour drive each way anyway. So, lovely.
Yeah. John Cooper has a question.
He does. Question for the gang. What's a decent multi-effects pedal I can use for rehearsals? Bass in and straight to desk. Needs a compressor, chorus, and maybe modelling, but something that fits in the gig bag. Jed?
TC Electronic Plethora.
That's one.
I love mine.
Yeah, I do. It's brilliant.
James?
The Sansamp Fly Rig.
Oh, yes. Good choice.
Been around for a moment, but I got all that, plus you have in the midst of it.
Mm-hmm. How's it go?
Like that.
Like what?
What you saw.
Which is what?
That's if you're listening to they've got mustaches.
Right. Okay. Zoomer multi effects for you?
Well, I can't say I'm making this suggestion via experience, but I nearly bought a Line 6 Pod Express because it looked very easy to use and it is very compact. And he mentioned those things, so that's
He's saying you want small and light.
Yeah. So I think that would do good. It's not very expensive either.
I'd say, John, if you go for the Tech 21, and Gareth's saying the same thing, A, you won't lose much on the value, and B, it's designed for bass. So, as any bass multi-effects is, but Tech 21 are just so reliable on their stuff. There will be Boss units, but invariably they're not that small. I think the Tech 21 thing is very flat, so you put that in your suitcase, you put it widthways in a case, you're done, dusted. Otherwise, you're looking at like the Helix Stomp. If you want to go down that road, not the cheapest, takes a lot of programming. I don't know if you, as we were saying on last week's live chat, my preference always is separate pedals because I can adjust things on the fly. Haven't got to go in and fiddle with menus. If you are fine with that, then the Stomp is perfect for that. But personally, I'd rather just, if it came to that, I'd rather just take 2 or 3 pedals that I need, stick them in my bag, and just not have all the other things that I've got. What did you want? You wanted compressor.
Tech 21.
Get rid of that. Get rid of the compressor. Chorus and maybe modeling, something that fits in the gig. You need an octaver on there, sir. But yeah, it's up to. I don't know what size bag you've got and how much room you've got, but Tech 21's a good shout. Separate pedals, good shout. See, the thing with Boss is there's just so many options, and it's like how old a unit do you want to go back to? Because they've done so many of them. And all I ever hear about with Boss multi-effects is they've got 1 or 2 good sounds, and that's it. You're much better off getting the individual pedals, but you got to go and try these things, and it means going out and traipsing around shops and then looking for best prices. And I think how quickly do you need this, John? What's the parameters here? So I realise I'm stood away from the mic. Sorry. What are the parameters? How quickly do you need this? I use a Line 6 Pod Go for gigs, but this is just for rehearsals. Often I'm getting there from work, so I need to travel light. Yeah.
That's as light as you can get.
Yeah. Yeah. It probably is lighter than 3 pedals, so yeah. Easy to get hold of. I don't think they're that expensive. If you're going to buy one new, affiliate links, please. That would be fabulous. Westford, you're not traveling, so it's a big fat pedal board for you. Likewise. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if he's already using the Go, then I stand by my suggestion for the Pod Express because it's $130, well, US bucks, and then it's Line 6 stuff. I mean, it looks very cohesive, I guess you could say. The Zoom ones are pretty good too, especially for the money.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's how. Sorry. I was going to say, how much modifying do you need to do on the fly, John? If you're quite happy going into menu systems and all of that, then that's fair enough. But like I say, in my experience, if something doesn't sound right, I want to change it instantly, and I want to hear that change happen. I don't want to be scrolling through parameters, dry and wet signals, and EQ and all of that. Say again?
Turn the knob and go.
That's it. John, I was at rehearsal last night and had to lug gig bag, bass, and work bag. So just thought if there's something small with a DI. Don't think the Tech 21 has got that, has it?
Yes, it does.
It has. Oh, okay. Yep. Well, there you go.
Cool.
And what are we looking at for one of those? What's it? Tech 21 fly rig.
Look at the fly rig. The Sans amp itself has a DI. The Doug Pinnick pedal, which I use, has a DI. I use it on everything. It's on my pedal board all the time. Every gig I'm on.
it looks like there's quite a few different versions of this.
Look for the
There's the bass Fly Rig V2.
That's
I'm
the
looking
one.
at about 340 quid, I think. What you got there? XLR Octave Fuzz Chorus, Chorus Tuner, Octa Filter. What's that? Level effects loop, level 1 and 2 with byte, EQ, compressor, drive. Yeah.
Yep.
That'll do the job.
The one.
There's a video there.
Nah.
Here you go, John. Get your laughing gear around that. Appears. There you go. Gareth, I own a Sonic Cake. Yeah, they have their own one, doesn't it? Boom Avenue. It costs 69 quid. Has octave preamp, fuzz, and compression. Well, that's going to save you a fair load of money. I've got some of the Sonic Cake pedals up here, which I'm going to have on. Oh God, I bought them about a year and a bit ago. Time to get them up on the channel. What's this? Setup pick from Albriana. I'm jealous, Al. Come on.
Go on.
You won't believe this. There's no way my partner is seeing that photo. I'm telling you now. Start a war. You won't believe. None of you. Zuma might, because he's a tidy young man. But this is, oh, Jesus. Talk about starting divorce proceedings. Look at this. How do you do that? I can't do that. My room's bigger than that. There's no way. There's no way. Your mind must be very clean, Al, is all I can say. That's just, look at that.
I guess the rest of us are dirty-minded then.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself, sir.
Look at that. Even Stacey's impressed.
No, mine looks nothing like that. I'll send you a picture in a
mine
bit.
Don't. Mine looks. If you could think of the complete opposite of that, that's what this is. If you've seen pictures of Hades and Satan running around in the nude, that's what this room's like. It's just mess, desolation everywhere. Very poor.
Covered
very
in
poor. So there you go, John. That would be our take. That's the collective. Oh, I see. And the XLR's on the side as well. Very good.
Yep.
That's a tidy little unit.
That's pretty neat. And that's very unusual too.
Yeah,
it comes with a little carry bag, which is very slim.
Yes.
Tell you, if I end up doing, well, I'm not at the moment, but if I ended up having to do a load of gigs abroad, that might be the perfect little investment.
Yeah.
Right. Go in your gig bag in this little tidy bag. You can throw that in your gig cables and off you go.
That's it.
Yep.
Huh.
One thing about them I can tell you is that they listen to the musicians, because just about every one of them who works for Tech 21 is a musician.
Yeah.
So they're taking very much stock in what everybody says, feedback and opinions based on actual use. I mean, I did a thing. I actually tried out. So the Doug pedal I've had since it was basically released. I tried the Steve Harris pedal. I've had Sam's amps for 30 years. And I had a fly rig prior to the Doug. So I've not had any issues. They go quickly. I mean, because they're lightweight, like I said, you can throw them around. It's no big deal.
About 320, 330 quid. Okay. Not something I need at the moment. It's an even feature, but
maybe tomorrow.
No, I bought a bass yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well, yesterday.
Yeah.
What? Wait, what?
I bought a G&L L2000.
Oh, man, I used to have one.
Well.
Very nice.
Which headstock?
The one with the point in the middle.
The pointy one. Okay.
Yeah, it's a 2017.
Right.
I have a suggestion. I don't know. Wait, what year is? Oh, 2017. You said
2017.
So
like a honey sunburst.
There were a few select ones, like more of like a special. Do this mod. I don't know if they do this mod as a stock thing, but in my opinion, you absolutely have to give it. I believe they call it the K mod, which is you install a switch to give you
So
an extra
instead of it being
position.
two-way, it's an extra position to give you two single cores like a
Yeah,
jazz. It's for the Japanese market.
It sounds so good that way. When I had mine, then that's a bass, I probably shouldn't have sold. I pretty much exclusively used it on that setting. It just sounded so good. It sounded like a really powerful jazz bass, just like a really even sounding jazz bass. If you look at my super old video for Kaja Gugu Too Shy, I use it in that position, and I think it sounds great. And so I would mod it and do that for sure. And I think if you go to the GLNR website, you can get the parts you need for it.
Right.
They don't make you work too hard to get it.
Now I know you're all sort of hanging on this, but this is a photo of Zuma's studio.
You see, it's relatively neat, but I got a lot of stuff, and that's just that side of it. If you turn around, it probably looks more like yours, Mike, on the other side.
That's cool.
You couldn't even begin to picture what mine looks like outside this camera. It's just.
See, the thing is, I don't have the amps. I don't have the amps you do because
it's not the amps. It's everything else. It's the plastic tubs that are stacked with stuff in.
Yeah.
And it's not stuff that I had before I had a YouTube channel. So it's boxes, it's pedals, it's leads, it's this, it's that, it's bulbs for the light. It's too much. Overcrowded. Too many gig bags. But anyway, we'll get there.
That's why you have a separate space for storage for cases and bags.
Well, that's why there's going to be an extension built on the house next year. So that's what all that's about. Yeah, man.
Yes.
Here we go. Stacy says Albriano's, that is pristine AF. Yes, so I can't say that. I've already done my swear word allocation tonight. John Cooper, cheers, got to check out Tech 21, but Line 6 Express might be cool if I can load settings from your pod Go. Might be worth checking out Line 6 website and forums then to see if that is a thing. Oh, blimey, there's a load of messages here. I'm starred. Bear with me. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Beat after beat saying hello to everyone. Good to see you.
I thought I saw him hiding in the picture of Zuma's room.
He was here much earlier before you were here.
Oh, yes.
Stacy saying wowzers at Zuma's room. Zuma sold the idea from Thomas Dolby. Yeah. It's very Rick Wakeman, I'm sure. Very good. There we are. It's 10 to 11. 10 to 11 here on Brooks's Bass Corner in London. 132 live chats we've done. Be Christmas soon. And I'm sure you'll all be relieved to know that I've booked in all the live chats up until 3rd of January, including the first Saturday one. When we go back over to doing Saturdays, we may do Saturdays and Tuesdays, because I know both days don't work for everyone who watches the channel. So we might do 2. We will see if there's a market for it. Everyone, I remember doing a poll, before we went to doing 1 a week, and asking anyone interested in regular live chat, and loads of people went, no, don't want to watch live chats, just do videos. And here we are, we do live chat every Tuesday and get more numbers than I ever get for long form videos. So
there you go.
What do they know? What do they know? So there we go.
There it is.
Andy, I'm still troubled and pained by the fact that you had a GB rumor made and it was the wrong string spacing. So I was talking to Stacey about this yesterday on my drive back from Liverpool.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, what I don't understand is the bass is made. Did Bernie not give you an adjustable string spacing bridge?
That wasn't spoken about. I know James Duran's got one on his one.
All my GBs came with them.
It may have done,
of course.
It may have done, but the actual width of the neck was
that shouldn't matter. No. String spacing is entirely controlled by the customizable spacing on the bridge.
Yeah.
The actual neck.
Yeah.
Can be any size you want it to be, as long as it doesn't. It's not under.
It's the neck that was the problem, really, because it was the 16 on a King bass on an S2 status one is it's exactly it's so small. It just fits my hands perfectly. I mean, I can play a normal JD size. I'm having my JD built that's of 16.5 string spacing on that one, but
a JD neck is far more bulbous in terms of its profile than a GB. My GBs are like slim.
Yeah. Well,
so it just seemed like a lot of bass to throw away for the sake of just putting a string spacing adjustable bridge on it.
If I can afford, I'm going to have to get some pension money out for the JD anyway. I'm hoping I might be able to buy it back from Bernie if he still got it.
Oh, has he got it?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay, because he could remodel that neck. It pains me that you spent all that money, and I remember seeing the pictures when he had it done, and I thought that's outstanding. And then within about 6 months or a year, I remember you posting you got rid of it, and now you've told me it was a string spacing thing, and I was thinking, why did he sell it? You just put a string spacing bridge on it.
LEDs was just phenomenal. It really was just a stupid, regretful thing that I sold it. Wish I kept hold of it, but thing is, because
if it's the rear, I guess what you're saying is it's the broadness of the fingerboard.
Yeah,
right. Because if it's the bulbousness of the back of the neck, you can have that slimmed down.
Really?
Yeah. I got Phil Kubicki did it for me on this. And I sent it back to America, and he shaved about.
Really?
It was far chunkier, and then it came back, and it was like, wow, that's like a different neck entirely. So wood material can be removed, but if it was just a case of sorting the string spacing, like I said, that all the GBs I've got bridges where you can adjust the string spacing.
Right.
So those parameters, whether it's 19, 18, 16.5 or 15, if you've got, all my GBs are over there. But basically on my Kingfisher Blue, that's an ABM bridge, and they had rotating string wheels. So you can do it with your finger, and it just rolls horizontally across the saddle. So you can line the strings where you want them.
Just like the old shallow roller bridge.
Exactly the same ideal. Because he said to me, I remember him saying, do you want a hip shot or what do you want on this? I said, well, I want a 3D bridge. So obviously action, intonation, and I want to be able to adjust the string spacing. I was a bloody idiot. I've never adjusted it in the whole time I've had it for 21 years.
No.
But it's there that if I wanted to do it, or whoever owns it after I pass away, they can do it. They can change the string spacing. But don't get sucked into, I've seen so many players get sucked into this thing where they say, I can only play 16.5 or I can only play 19. If you got a gig playing with Led Zeppelin, they said, there's a bass.
I could play normal. But,
Well,
it's just the status bases where you could have that. You could have that, and it was just.
I mean, the thing with a status neck is it's very different. If it's a graphite neck, it's a very different thing. No other brand, well, Rich will back me up on this. No other bass that I've ever owned that wasn't a status felt like a status.
Correct.
And when you start, and here's one for Jamie. Players who try to make one brand of a bass into another one, i.e. people trying to make a JD into an alembic. You want an alembic, buy an alembic. Don't buy a JD and try and make it an alembic. It ain't going to be that. So with all these basses, and we're talking big sums of money, they are what they are. So either buy them for what they are, or go and look at the thing that you want them to be, because that will do it better than, trying to put a square peg in a round hole. It's never going to be a happy situation. So, but I just thought with the GB, you'd never make the GB feel like a status neck. I don't think you couldn't buy a modulus and make it feel like a status neck. It's a different thing.
Totally.
Jamie, Zuma, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I've taken apart so many Rickenbackers. Somebody wanted to make a Fender decision that, if you're going to buy a Rick bass, buy a Rick bass because you want that sound, not because you want to sound like something else. To your point, I mean, people have for decades. They like something, and whether it's just finances or it's just the fact that they go, oh, let's try this. And so they put something into it that was never intended to be there originally. I've undone so many of those mods and put them back to stock because with the mods, they sounded like rubbish. So, because when you look at something and you go, oh, that's going to sound like whatever. If you look at a Rick, for example, and it suddenly sounds like a Fender, you're scratching your head because even visually it doesn't make sense. So I would say if you're going to, if the GB or if the Status or one of those is the thing, just go for it. Don't modify something else to accommodate.
Yeah.
Zoom?
Agreed.
Well, I don't even know where to start because I think
don't sit on that fence; you get splinters.
It's so layered, this discussion. But I'll say what is floating to the top, and that is that if you're going to make the decision, or somehow without making a decision, you ended up with 5 basses, 10 basses, 15 basses, then you're already past the point where where you can just perfect one setup and say, oh, I love this and this is what I play, because you're going to be switching, and so that becomes its own skill. And so for me, what I've done is I've said, what is the sound I want to hear in my head? So, okay, I hear the kubiki. Okay, let's go get the kubiki, and whatever it takes to play the kubiki, I got to adjust to the scale length. I got to adjust to this and that. Then I do that because the end result is the sound that I want to, hear from that instrument. And so I think that ends up being the priority. And that's actually healthy for me because I've definitely been in that position where I got bogged down with, oh, I'm going to check all my basses and, oh, 464s on this one. Oh, this one over here is 564. Oh, I got to adjust that one. Oh, now I got to make them all. And then, oh, I like this better. Oh, now I got to get all 10 of my basses and make them just like that one. And ridiculous. Also that, and just coming to terms with a slightly higher action than you might think you need, because that comes, it's a compromise, right? It's its own set of problems. Even if you can get it that low, it's not like it's just automatically better. But in terms of the neck and dealing with the neck, yeah, I mean, you're that's the part of you that's holding on, right? That's the touch part. So it can be a very sensitive. It is a very sensitive thing. If you don't like the way it feels, specifically on the left side, if you're a right-handed bass player or you play this way, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could, as you guys are saying, hey, send it back to the builder, and that's probably a good option for such a bespoke instrument. But there's so much out there. I'd say just, hey, maybe somebody else will like that shape. Let me go find another one. That's what I would do. So yeah, I could go on, but it's I just have to tell myself, just play, just go out and play, unless it's grossly high or just something is poking and sharp, and unless we have those kinds of issues, just like I just can't worry about all that stuff. You
can end up just chasing your tail, trying to make everything that one thing, and it's like that's not
easily
you're
done.
going to send yourself mad trying to get that. The only thing that is going to do that is that.
Exactly.
Yeah. It'd be a bit like buying a Lembic and trying to make it sound like a Les Paul bass. It's like, why would you?
Why?
That begs the question. It's like,
it does,
why? But no, I was just thinking about Andy, and he'd spent all that money on that bass, and I just thought that is such a waste of that instrument, for the sake of a string spacing thing.
Yeah. At the time,
if all it needed was a bridge that allowed you to adjust. But
if I didn't know needing the money at the time, I'd have kept it. I'm going to give Bernie a ring because when my pension money does come, I need to spend it. I need to spend it because otherwise, yeah, because I'm on that disability benefits now,
Right.
and that you can only have a certain amount of savings. So I'm going to the JD, and if there's any left over, I shall do that.
Yeah, but I know how. What's the word? Idiosyncratic he can be towards each instrument, so you can have whatever you want.
Yeah.
But even after he's finished it, there are still things he can do. He built it. All of his basses are modifiable to the nth degree as much as you want. And if all that was preventing you from getting what you wanted out of that instrument was the neck profile or the neck width or the string spacing, that can all be adjusted. And even once that bass is built, he can take timbre off to a certain degree.
Really,
and if it's a case that it needs to be relacquered, well, that's not a big thing. That's an easy thing. But if it is just string spacing, like I say, if your bridge didn't have adjustment for string spacing, just put another bridge on it.
The thing is, it's not really one. Another reason I've just thought of, it's not really a slap bass. It's for a finger style, really. But I'm not. Well, anyway, my slapping is rubbish anyway. I'm a crap slap bass.
Right.
I can't do anything complicated as like 43 on level 42 stuff.
Sure.
I can just about do love games. And
I'll tell you what. I've got 4 GBs here, and I've recently acquired a JD. My GBs are a million times easier to slap on than that JD.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, mine were, but got to tell you, there was a switch, not the switch on there. I don't know if it was
on the GB.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's a series parallel switch.
Oh, was it?
So what it does, if it's in series, you get like a hefty humbucker, balls to the wall.
Yeah, it was a
bass, middle, and treble in your face.
Down.
You go back to parallel. If you go to the parallel setting, it's more akin to a thinner, like a single coil jazz sound. So it takes a lot of the heft out of the EQ. You get a more delicate sort of focus sound rather than the you're getting. Blah. That's the difference.
Yeah. I mean,
because I remember always saying to Bernie, "What's the switch for?" And he'd say, "Oh, that's a slap bass switch." What's that? What's a slap bass switch? Well, it makes me play quicker, does it? And I'd always say to him, "What's the deal? What's the deal?" And he would go, and find a reason. So when I came to do video reviews here on my channel, I rang him up and I said, "Right, don't BULLSHIT me. What does that switch do? Because it's going on my video. And if you tell me it's a slap bass switch, I'm going to hit you." And he said, no, it's a series parallel switch. I said, "Well, why didn't you tell me that 20 odd years ago?"
Yeah, right.
He said, "Well, I was just pulling your leg." Like, just tell me it's a series parallel switch. Loads of manufacturers do it. Like on the GNL, there's a switch there, series or parallel. Which way do you want it? And then, as Zuma said, there's a setting on there if you're in the Japanese market where you get both the pickups. It's not series, it's not parallel, but you end up with a single coil. It's basically a coil tap. So rather than you're using both coils on both humbuckers, you're using one coil on each, which gives you the separation that you would have on a jazz bass. But loads of companies do that. Sometimes series parallel is a push pull on a control. It's one or the other. But that's what that switch is for. So you should be able to slap on a JD, on a GB. Shut up, you. On a GB, should be as easy, if not easier, than anything else.
It intend to slap out anyway, because I know at church you can't slap on bass at church, and it's all contemporary kind of pop. There's no where we are. There's no things to do that with.
What gauge strings did you get him to set that up with?
30s. Yeah, 30s to 90s.
Don't like to tell you so, but that might be some of the problem.
Yeah,
they're very thin. Try a 35-95 or like Rich does, a 40-95. You might find the tone suddenly changes radically.
Rich, have you seen the bass recently? Is it still there? I don't know. My
Which one?
My black rumor.
Oh no, Rich bought a GB from Bass Brothers today. He did
Yeah.
part exchange.
Okay, sorry, Rich. Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought she went to Bernie's.
That's all right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll give Bernie a ring this week then.
There are ways and means to get that bass how you want it. I think it just needs a conversation. If you tell him what the issue for you playing it is, and then say to him, "Is there a way around this?" I don't see there's any reason not to, but it just pains me that you went to all that trouble of having a custom bass made, and then when you got it, it wasn't the bass you wanted. But when you said it was a string spacing thing, it's like,
well, it was the bass I wanted. I needed the money to.
Oh, okay, right. Well, that's a different thing. But if it was a playability thing, then
no,
as
not
I say,
not at all. No.
If you'd done that with a status, I'd say, well, you can't do anything because you can't adjust the neck. It's graphite, unless they put it into a blender and take like shards of it off. But with wood, it's a different thing. You can have the neck remodeled, resculpted. Yeah. What are you doing?
I'd be like a chainsaw, like I did to that JD with the back.
It's like a child after 20 cans of pop. Stop, behave yourself, man. That's vodka. That's not water, not anything else. Yeah. Where are we? It's just gone 11 o'clock. We'll wrap this up shortly, I think. Michael Anthony, sorry, I was in doctor's appointment. That's all right. You got to do these things. Doctor walked in. But that's all right, Mike. It's fine. Richard, donated student. Oh, yes. Beat After Beat said, did any of us donate any of our basses to music programs in schools? Not yet, but it is something I'm thinking about doing in later life.
I have done it. I sent a Fender off to a school. It was a 1980 Lake Placid Blue Precision Special.
Someone did well.
Oh, yeah. Well, someone modified it before I got it, so it had double precision pickups, and they did away with the little kind of dodgy preamp. I mean, the thing weighed 2 tons, but other than that, I mean, it was solid. And it's still being used because I get a photo occasionally of somebody.
That's good.
You know, so totally fine. Yeah, it's been done. I mean, it depends on who, what, where, when, really. Simple enough.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I thought about donating my trace rig, or at least half of it, you know, the half stack, to a school, but I feel like
none of them would be able to carry it.
Wait a minute. You beat me to the punch. I was going to say, the kids are so scrawny these days. Nobody would be able to carry the damn thing.
Yeah. Child died at school after trying to carry a Trace 4x10.
When I went to school,
they snapped in half.
we always
the
had a couple
teacher said
of guys.
they were in floods of tears.
When I went to school, we always had a couple of guys that looked like maybe they shouldn't still be in school, but you know, they helped you carry your gear. You know, they were great guys to have around.
They grew early.
There's none of those left. Yeah, you're right. Nobody would be able to carry the damn thing.
That's just the bright box.
Right.
The bright box.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, totally.
That's it. Right, gents, I'm going to wrap it up. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your attendance. Everyone out there, thank you for all the questions, the text. Fabulous. There's going to be loads of stuff going up. Tomorrow I'm with Mum at hospital. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, early part next week. Demos, reviews. The Wilcock basses will be going up. The interview with Gary Beers is ready to go. It's a whole bunch of stuff. Just keep your eyes on the channel. I can't keep up with all the stuff I'm pumping out there, so there's plenty of it. Guys, have a great week. I'll catch you next week. Hopefully, live chat one. Before I go, next week's live chat, we're going to move to Wednesday.
Okay.
I can't get back from the South Coast in time to do the live chat. It will be even tighter than tonight, and I'm not going to do that. So we're going to move to next week's live chat. We'll go to Wednesday, and I will change the thumbnail and the video stuff. But it will be Wednesday at 8 o'clock instead.
Okay.
Give my love
I will be away and traveling, but I'll actually,
that's all right.
Try and
no problem.
Try and join.
No problem. You can have a week off, Rich. You've been here every week since about March, so have a week.
No.
I've been here every week since 1874. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
He can't have a week off. Nobody's giving
You
him
can have a week
permission.
off for good behavior.
Lovely. Thank you very much, everybody.
Enjoy your week.
Later.
You too,
Folks,
guys.
enjoy your bass playing. If you're traveling, get home safely. Get there safely as well is a good start. And keep an eye on the channel. There's going to be plenty of stuff going up over the next week or so. Hope you've enjoyed tonight. It's been a blast. So, on that note, take care of yourselves. We will see you soon. Michael Anthony, thank you, everyone. Watch this in review. Please, peace, love, and funk from Phil Plays Bass. Yeah, I haven't logged into that for a while. I need to revisit. On that note, take care. Have a great week. Enjoy the channel. Please give the videos a thumbs up. Leave comments. Share the videos out to social media. Fabulous. Have a great week. See you soon.